A young man walks through the snow. He shivers in his puffy jacket. Suddenly, he stops. He sees a few small cats in the distance. One of them runs up and paws at his leg. It looks up at him with big blue eyes. The kid is totally thrown off. The cat turns away. It starts walking off. He realizes it wants him to follow. He cannot just leave it. The cat leads him into a narrow alley, and what he finds there makes him gasp. Other kittens are huddled together for warmth. Man, they are completely covered in snow. He reaches out in a panic. He bursts through his front door. Mom, I'll explain later. Where's the heating pad? He gently picks up one of the tiny kittens. He lays them down on a heating pad. One of them looks really bad. His mom looks worried. This one seems to be already dead, but our boy does not give up. He tries running warm water over its tiny body. He dries it with a towel, but nothing works. Poor guy. He remembers trying to save a tiny kitten. Just as he was about to give up, it squeaked. He flashes back to all the trouble they caused, the constant chaos in his room, waking him up in the middle of the night, and yeah, destroying his wallpaper. But now the little guy has a cast on its leg. Our boy tells his cat, PPIju, he has to go. He apologizes. Today is really the last time. He promises to come back after finishing everything. He tells the cat to be careful with its leg. I'll be back. He puts on the helmet. His expression is dead serious. A message appears, logging into the world of materia, and we are back in the game. A holy prayer echoes across the battlefield. The third row is ordered to move forward. The holy knights charge the giant beast, but the monster just swats them away. Their attacks barely scratch its tough hide. It forms a massive blade from its own arm. After days of fighting, they have reached the final stage. He declares his team will be the first to defeat the Colossus. He plants his shield firmly in the ground. The Colossus unleashes a barrage of dark magic. The Colossus unleashes a massive purple energy blast. The raid leader barks out orders. First row, do not retreat. Steady the front lines. The beams slam into the ground, throwing players everywhere. He raises his shield. Second row, line up directly behind me now. The leader activates his ultimate skill. The Colossus fires another volley of attacks. The leader lays out the final plan. We'll finish it in one strike with the second row's ult. His shield meets the blast head-on. The God of Light protects me. His skills pop up. Divine Shield, Sanctuary, Blessing of the Gods behind him. Gino prepares his own spell. The leader explains the stakes. If we don't take the risk, the whole raid could be wiped. Gino just smirks. All that's left is for the raid leader's defensive skill to block the Colossus's strike. He begins casting his own ultimate skill. The faces of the raid team flash by, all focused on the fight. The leader kneels, bracing his shield against the massive boss. The Colossus charges a final, blindingly bright attack. But just as the beam hits, the leader starts to pixelate and vanish. The other players are completely stunned. The beam now shoots forward, completely unobstructed. A player screams, "Captain, where did you go?" A system message appears, physical anomaly detected for user Kim. Forced logout initiated. An off-screen voice confirms the rescue request, and we see the leader in the real world. Thrashing on his bed, he sits up, ripping off his VR helmet. A cat is on his chest. Man, he yells at the cat, why at such a critical moment? A scream echoes from a building. It rings out across the clear blue sky. We cut to a massive conference room. A legal proceeding is underway. The topic is the game Materia, where people now prefer to live. It has become so common that people commute to the game for work. They live out entire lives inside this virtual world. And yeah, being a professional gamer is a legitimate career path. The top players are basically celebrities. They gain incredible fame and fortune from the game. This has led to new laws being created, like for the Dodo Law Office. A woman presents the Raid Boss Special Act. It allows players to sue for compensation if a raid fails due to someone's fault. C. Large-scale raids are a huge investment, so now they are run with real-world contracts. And based on those contracts, 15 mercenaries are suing their raid leader. The man at the head of the table is that leader, Kim. And he is being sued for over $1 billion won. Geez, he remembers the raid group. He had agreed to compensate everyone 100%. And now he walks out of the law office, completely broken. A man calls out to him, "Captain." Kim looks up, surprised. The man asks, "Heard you've already sold your gear. Is that true?" Kim puts on a brave face. Yes, it was the only way to make compensation to the mercs. He admits he sold everything with tears in his eyes. Poor guy. We see his legendary gear, each piece worth hundreds of millions. The man asks a good question. So why are you trying to solo now? Kim just jokes about wanting to spend more time with his cat. Classic deflection. The man tells Kim he is planning to quit now. Kim bows deeply. "I'm really sorry. It's all because of me." The man offers him a box. "This is a farewell present for our captain, who worked so hard for us." Kim refuses, saying he is the one at fault. The man insists, "Don't feel burdened, just take it." He waves goodbye as Kim walks away with the box. Kim gets back to his empty apartment. Guys, I am home. He slumps against the door, completely defeated. PPI Ju comes to greet him. He looks up in despair. All my post-retirement plans relied on having all my gear. Poor guy. But PPI Ju wants to play, bringing over a toy mouse on a string. Kim gives in. All right. Just 5 minutes, okay? The hunt begins. He starts to warm up. Okay, warm up time. And PPI Ju stretches too, ready for action. Kim watches his cat, a small smile on his face. He thinks about how energetic the cat is, even with a cast. He stands over some cardboard boxes. Now that we're warmed up, time for the hunt. PPI Ju leaps onto the makeshift fort. And yeah, our boy gets really into it. I'm channeling a mouse now. Classic, the toy mouse skitters across the floor. He ducks behind a chair, making squeaking sounds. PPI Ju watches intently as the bait moves past its hiding spot. The mouse appears over the top of the box. And PPI Ju strikes, swatting the mouse from inside the box. The cat launches itself out of the box in a flurry of motion. PPI Ju jumps into a cardboard box, still with the cast on its leg. Kim teases the cat. All right, PPI Ju, time for your loyal butler to earn his reward. The cat squeezes through the hole. Kim smiles, thinking how cute it is. PPI Ju pops out of another hole, ready to play. The cat looks absolutely thrilled, batting at the toy. It launches itself out of the box in a blur. After playtime, Kim prepares a bowl of shredded chicken. PPI Ju sits contently in its box fort, while washing dishes. Kim worries he played too much. He remembers the vet's advice. You shouldn't play much while healing, but he had explained that PPI Ju gets super stressed without play. He wonders how to help the cat burn energy. When his phone buzzes, it is a notification for the hospital bill, over $1,000,001 man. He is completely out of money. He pulls a box out from under his bed. Metagear, he opens it up, revealing an old VR helmet. He explains a raid member gave it to him when they quit. He tells PPI Ju it needs to apologize for causing the disaster. Then he puts the empty cardboard box over his head. He figures this will prevent another accident because that makes sense. He checks the time. It is already late. He says goodbye to his cats. I'll be back. PPI Ju, Lulu. He lies down on his bed, ready to log in, box and all. And we are back in Meteoria, in a land of fire and lava. He is fishing for a big reward, but it comes with a big risk. He is in the lava zone with no gear, which is incredibly dangerous. His plan is based on old memories. Since the raid cleared the Phoenix, monsters should not respawn, but he is not sure what has changed after all the updates. Suddenly, a huge fish jumps out of the lava. He smiles. His old golden fishing spot is still here. It is a lava trout, a key ingredient for high-tier items. He needs 50 to pay off his debt. He sits back down to continue fishing. The lure drops back into the lava. He thinks it has been ages since he had time to himself. The last 5 years were just non-stop raids and ranking. He lost everything overnight, but he feels relaxed. He wonders why his eyes are watering. Classic. Suddenly, the lure starts shaking violently. Kim is shocked. The boss is not supposed to respawn yet. He gets pulled by the rod, wondering if the Phoenix is back. A massive vortex of energy appears in the sky. A beam of light slams down right in front of him, and a huge wolf-like creature with blue flames appears. He realizes that is not the Phoenix. Judging by its entrance, it is at least a 5-person raid boss. He cannot escape at this range, and fighting is not an option, man. He has only caught 1 fish so far, just his luck. He hopes it does not camp his fishing spot. This is his only hope for money. The monster's giant maw opens up right behind him. A giant tongue licks his face. The massive beast is just grooming him. Kim is just standing there, crying, covered in drool. He wonders why this is happening. Is it trying to lick him to death? He screams, "This is disgusting. Can't you just kill me quickly and cleanly?" He pokes the monster's nose, so just get it over with. He points at the beast. "One day, I'll be the one to raid you." The monster just tilts its head, and then it says, "Meow." Kim is completely frozen. The monster meows again. Our boy is just so confused. He thinks he must have misheard. But no, it was a deep, gruff meow. He realizes it is a monster based on a cat, a very majestic one, and then a light bulb goes off over his head. He looks down at his fishing rod. A cat, he thinks. Maybe he can use bait to escape. He pulls out a fish lure. "Wait, treat. I'll give you a treat." He figures he has nothing to lose. Here, he casts the line, sending the lure flying. The giant beast immediately starts chasing it. Kim cannot believe it. This actually works. And yeah, the monster pounces on the lure like a giant house cat. Kim holds on tight. "I can't give it to you that easily." He struggles to reel the line back in. The monster's giant paws reach for the lure. It snatches the bait, but it has shrunk to the size of a squirrel. Kim screams and runs away, dropping his only fishing rod. The tiny monster happily chews on the lava trout. It sits down to enjoy its hard-earned snack and swallows the entire fish in one go. Its eyes begin to glow with a menacing light. It licks its lips. It clearly wants another one. The little beast leaps from a high cliff, chasing after Kim. It flies through the air like a comet of blue energy. Our boy looks back in pure terror. The creature slams into the ground with incredible force. The impact shatters the rocky terrain, and it stands up, back to its full, terrifying size. Kim stares at the crater. What the hell is this thing? The giant cat monster stares down at him. Its massive paw lands right next to his head. Hey, lose interest and disappear somewhere far away. It leans in close. He asks what it is doing. The monster playfully bats him onto his back, and then it starts kneading his chest with its giant paws. He thinks this is way too scary for just kneading. A resurrection window pops up. He died. I need to reclaim my fishing spot. He wonders how to solve this predicament. Open the map window. He figures the lava zone is the Phoenix's old turf, so the new boss must have spawned there. He runs for it, praying the cat monster is long gone, but nope, a giant paw pins him to the ground. The beast just circles his corpse. He cannot believe it. Why isn't it leaving and guarding my corpse? He wonders if it is waiting to kill him again on respawn. He thinks there is only one solution he can think of right now. His plan is simple: resurrect and run like hell away from his fishing spot. But the monster just lies down right next to him. It starts nuzzling his body like a pet. And yeah, it is definitely cuddling with his corpse. Our boy is just so confused. A blue light signals his resurrection. He stands up, ready to put his plan into action. He carefully tries to sneak away. One slow step at a time. He is almost clear, but the moment his foot touches down, its eye opens. The beast is up, looming right behind him. He realizes it was a trap. A giant paw grabs him by the collar, and it just drags him away while he screams. The monster looks completely focused. It sprints across the wasteland with our boy in tow and slams him right back down at the fishing spot. And a system message pops up. You have died. The giant beast just looks confused. Kim's ghost floats over his own body, thinking he has a plan to escape. He decides to use his military tactical training. As you do, he resurrects on the spot. I have a feeling this might work, and immediately plays dead. He lies perfectly still, hoping the monster will lose interest. The monster just watches him. Kim holds his breath, waiting. He cracks open an eye to check. He starts to slowly, ever so slowly, crawl away, but the monster's eyes snap open. Kim freezes. It reacts to sounds this small, and yeah, the licking starts all over again. He thinks he has gotten involved with a psycho. The monster just keeps on licking him, back in the real world. Kim screams in frustration. He thrashes around in his bed, punching his pillow. He decides he needs to log off before he has a stroke from the anger. He gets out of bed, wondering what kind of bizarre mechanic the devs added. But then he stops, noticing something. It is PPI with his head stuck inside the VR helmet. Kim smiles, thinking the cat fell asleep in there. He calls out to his little rascal, but then he pauses. A strange feeling hits him. An idea is forming. Suddenly, a thought strikes him. He remembers the monster's scar, an X right on its forehead, the exact same marking as his cat. PPI, he just stands there, silent. He just laughs, dismissing the idea as impossible. He reasons that a cat could not log into a game. It is just a coincidence. The next day, he logs back in, praying the monster is gone from his fishing spot. He looks around frantically, hoping it is gone. He walks through the desolate landscape. He grits his teeth in anger. The giant beast soars through the air. It lands with a thud right in front of him. And yeah, it gets right in his face and meows. He is completely disgusted. He curses this filthy world. The beast's massive paw steps forward. It lowers its body to the ground. He squeezes his eyes shut, expecting the worst. But instead of attacking, it does a big cat stretch. Classic, it turns and presents its butt right to his face. His mind goes completely blank. Then he wonders, I've been chosen. A system window appears. The power of Kalinus descends on an entity named Kim Butler. He realizes he is being forced to change classes. He has no idea what is going on. A system message announces dark energy is being applied as a huge vortex forms. The dark energy swirls around Kim like a tornado. It coalesces around his feet, changing him. A system window pops up, application complete, and yeah, he is now dressed as a butler. He is in total shock. It really changed. Then what about my Paladin character? A voice booms out from the void. Butler. He realizes the voice is being transmitted directly into his head. The beast introduces itself with a ridiculously long title. Man, what a mouthful. But Kim is still stuck on the fact that he is talking to its butt. The monster explains its body is out of control, which is why it chose him. Kim wonders if this is a random quest. So what do you want me to do for you? He asks about the reward, RPP, and what that even is. The great and powerful Kalinus just meows. Our boy is just completely lost, so he just slaps it on the butt. As you do, the monster yells, "What are you doing?" Kim calls it butt spanking. The beast yelps in pain. He goes on a rant. You suddenly appear, forcibly change my class, and now ask me to help. The monster offers to change him back, and that gets his attention. He decides to check the job info first before making a decision. The duties are less house manager and more cat butler. He remembers that even small cats can be a handful, but then he realizes he can negotiate compensation. He looks over at the monster, thinking maybe this is not so bad after all. He introduces himself as Kim Butler, an expert who has studied cats for years. The monster asks if he can handle it. Kim says, exactly. Actions speak louder than words. I'll show you right now. He explains his theory. Actually, judging by how you showed me your butt, you don't seem wary of me. This is a show to negotiate well. He gently pets its nose. By the way, cats don't let strangers get close, so you have to approach carefully on first meeting. The giant beast seems to enjoy the attention. It nuzzles against him and lets out a meow. Kim asks if it is a social cat. He pets its head confidently. You'd have a hard time finding a butler like me anywhere else. Kim checks a system window. He wonders what is causing its high anxiety. The monster suddenly looks up, noticing a creature in the distance. It lies down on the ground. Kim notes that monsters are starting to respawn. A small fire salamander appears in the wasteland. The beast gets up, asking about its condition. Kim says he just checked it. He tells the monster its anxiety levels are high and asks for the reason. The beast assumes it is because of the unfamiliar environment. It declares that anxiety is for the weak and decides to make the whole world its territory. The little salamander looks up, startled. The giant cat monster sprints towards a smaller creature. They race across the plains. A system window shows the monster's stress level is rising. An impact creates a massive cloud of dust. The monster's glowing eye focuses on its target. It stands over the salamander's severed tail. The stress level climbs higher. The monster roars, "Grah, I'm angry. Where the hell did that thing go?" And yeah, Kim starts running too. The salamander flees, its chest glowing with fire. Kim activates a skill, Butler's skill, Capture. He holds a serving platter, as you do. He opens a portal with the platter, successfully capturing the salamander. A cascade of blue energy surrounds him. A man in a sharp suit steps out. It is Kim, now dressed as a butler. Was there any doubt? He presents a swirling orb of dark energy. You must have felt great loss letting the prey you caught escape. Master. The scene shifts to a cave. He is cleaning up after the giant beast and reveals a dead lizard monster. The beast's eyes glow with an intense light. It picks up the lizard by its head and just smashes it into the ground. Kim asks, "How was my service?" The system says his master's mood has improved. The monster agrees it feels much more relaxed. It nuzzles the corpse. Then shall we negotiate now? Kim starts laying out his terms. He needs time off and money to live. The monster is confused. A butler has time off. A dark aura surrounds Kim as it asks if he has a home outside. Our boy just laughs nervously and says yes. The monster points out it has no money. Kim is stunned, so he suggests keeping the loot from hunts. The beast tells him to pick a speech style, but it agrees to his terms. I'll give you the compensation you want. The monster asks if that is enough. And yeah, he says it is. He thinks about how he was worried about not being able to fish for lava trout. But getting all the loot from a 3-person zone is way more profitable. He snaps his fingers, feeling confident again. Even if the sky falls, there's always a way out. He watches the monster leave after the corpse vanishes. He wonders if it is just a big cat after all. He channels his new butler powers. A system window announces the completion of Salamander Salt Grilled. He gets a prompt asking if he wants to notify his master. He presses the yes button. The giant beast appears out of thin air. Butler, what's this smell? So treat crafting was just a skill to summon his unpredictable master. The monster's eyes go wide with shock. It cannot believe a flavor like this exists. It licks the bowl clean. Butler, don't you have more? Kim panics and agrees, as the monster shrinks down to its small form. So he gets to work looting a nearby monster corpse. He collects the lizard tail meat and some silver. Suddenly, the tiny monster zips right past him. He smirks, realizing monsters are respawning in large numbers, and his master is hunting them down one by one. He realizes that every time his master hunts, his pockets get heavier, and he does not have to lift a single finger. He wonders if this is the sweet taste of auto-hunting. Man, talk about a power-up. Kim thanks his master as it slaughters the local wildlife. He says he is pleased with the compensation and will assist from the sidelines. So he starts crafting another treat. He calls out to his master to come get it. Then he decides to check his quest log. A message asks if he wants to start the tutorial stage 2. The quest is simple. Move to a nearby village. Kim notes the monster gets stressed if it leaves its territory, and yeah, its stress level is climbing. The monster stares down at the bubbling lava. It stands at the edge of the lava zone with Kim right behind it. Kim tells his master he has a plan. The beast tells him to get on with it. He suggests they head to a village to gather information, figuring there's a reason the monster was summoned here. The monster agrees, but Kim feels a little guilty passing the quest off as his own idea. But the monster has a question. But is there a way? Isn't my current body restricted in movement range by this cat's territorial instinct? Kim points out its territory expanded every time it beat a monster. He pulls out a map. We need to defeat the Phoenix, the ruler of the lava zone and surrounding area. If we defeat the Phoenix, you can move freely to nearby villages. The monster asks about the Phoenix, wondering if it is strong. Kim explains, it's strong. It's an immortal bird that doesn't die and becomes stronger each time it resurrects. The monster is not impressed, but in the end, it will kneel before my power anyway. But Kim brings up a good point. The Phoenix breathes fire from its entire body. He says a cat facing fire will just run and hide. So first, they need to make the monster unafraid of flames, and just like that, the giant beast flops over in terror. It thrashes and rolls around on the ground, completely losing its composure, man. Then it hides behind a rock, admitting it can feel the fear. It glares at Kim, use any means necessary to help me overcome fire. Suddenly, a lava trout flops onto the ground in front of it. The monster just stares at the fish. Confused, Kim holds a fishing rod with a wicked grin. Fear will be overcome by getting doused in lava once. The monster is horrified. Your plan is to drop me in lava. He says that is right, asking if there is a better way to adapt. The monster is not so sure. If I were whole, maybe. But can a beast like a cat really withstand lava? Kim explains its body is a boss monster, which means it has high resistance to temperature. The monster is stunned by this revelation, as Kim prepares to cast it into the lava. So Kim is trying to fish in a river of lava. He turns to check on his master. The little beast just sits there, looking completely unimpressed. It says the fish does not seem appealing anymore, and Kim is just floored. The monster says it is not worth jumping into lava for, and just walks off. Kim sighs. Time for plan B. He activates a return skill, sending him back to his registered base. He tells his master, I'll be right back. The monster asks where he is going. It panics. You're not abandoning me, are you? The little guy looks genuinely worried as Kim vanishes. It starts pacing back and forth, clearly anxious. Kim teleports to Serenchim City, a massive town in the Light Faction's territory. He walks into the adventurer's storage shop. The shopkeeper greets him. What item shall I find for you? Kim Butler. He asks for sugarcane, spring water, a climbing rope, and dynamite. She hands over the very strange order, asking what he needs them for. He says he is taming a monster and also needs a catapult. Man, what a shopping list. As he leaves, the shopkeeper wishes him luck, but Kim feels like he is forgetting something. He suddenly remembers and slams his hands on the counter. He says he almost left without one more crucial item. Back in the lava zone, we see the gnarled roots of a massive tree. The tree itself is huge, growing right out of the cracked earth. Kim uses a grappling hook to swing onto it, explaining it is fire-resistant wood. He starts climbing, holding a bundle of dynamite. He explains the monster here loves sweet things, especially sugarcane, which is now attached to a lit fuse. He remembers this monster was hard to hunt because it hides in lava. The giant beast, Kalinus, sniffs the air. It searches the area while Kim stands on its back. A small fire creature appears, calling itself Lord Cerberus. It seems to be guarding a bundle of sugarcane. The creature starts nibbling on the sugarcane, and it seems to really enjoy the treat. Kim prepares a jug of ethereal spring water, which can extinguish hellfire. He pours the water down on the creature, thinking about a cat's favorite prey. The flames go out, revealing a small pink rat. The rat is furious. What the hell did you do to me? Squeak! Kim just laughs. He calls it Little Squeaky and says it is cute. The rat threatens him, but Kim just finds it even cuter. It asks if he knows how terrifying it can be. Kim just shrugs. The rat offers to spare him if he apologizes. Kim just laughs at how insignificant it is. The rat realizes it cannot use its flames because it is soaked. It decides to attack anyway, leaping towards him. It zips right past him in a blur, but Kim catches it by the tail as it tries to escape. The rat tumbles right into a pool of lava. Kim smirks. I was trying to tell you that you have no flame resistance right now. The rat screams as it boils in the lava. Damn. That's just brutal. It leaps out, its butt on fire, and lands hard on the ground. The poor thing just lies there crying, its backside all scorched. The RPP tutorial explains he can turn monsters into minions. He holds up a silver serving platter, ready to present his catch. A tiny voice squeaks from under the lid. Hey, what are you planning to do with me? A little pink monster with a mushroom cap peeks out. Not answering, squeak, where are you taking me? Kim looks away coldly. So don't talk to me. It'll be troublesome if I get attached. The little creature is horrified. Sacrifice. It wails about dying unmarried. Kim just says that is unfortunate. The monster begs for its life. Save me. Please slave me. I don't want to die. Kim gives a creepy smile, offering a way to live and even find a mate. The monster immediately agrees. I'll do it, damn it. What do I need to do? He calmly explains the first option. The first way you can survive is to become my master's minion. A diagram shows that minions are immune to the master's attacks, a guaranteed survival plan. The second option is to lure the master into lava. The mouse is appalled. This is completely ungrateful servant behavior, so it agrees to the first plan, reminding Kim about his promise of a mate. The mouse tells him to open the minion creation window, and a prompt appears. He says start and presses the glowing blue button. A bright blue magic circle appears on the ground. The little pink creature stands in the center of the swirling energy. It looks up as the power of the minion contract envelops it. Kim holds the platter with a deadpan expression as smoke billows out. As you do, the process completes, with smoke wafting from the covered dish. Meanwhile, his master sits on a cliff's edge, overlooking a sea of lava. Kim walks up behind the beast, ready to make his presentation. The monster turns its head. Where did you go that made you so late? Kim Butler. Kim presents the platter, promising an existence that will excite his master like no other. Kim lifts the lid with a flourish, revealing a cloud of smoke. The monster stares intently into the billowing cloud. It asks what this is, as a tiny squeak echoes out. The little pink rat emerges, and the monster feels a strange sensation. Its heart pounds. Its hunting instincts are screaming with excitement. The rat takes a single defiant step forward. Kim's plan was simple. He gave Squeaky a mission to help the master overcome his fear. He tells the rat to guide his master for the cause of darkness. Squeaky pops a speed potion and bolts, shouting for the cause, and just like that, the great beast is off, chasing the tiny creature across the wasteland. The rat leaps across a wide canyon. The monster follows in a single, powerful bound. It roars that it will never let the rat escape. Suddenly, the rat's tail bursts into flames. It leaves a wall of fire in its wake, but the monster's instincts are too strong. It leaps right through the fire without hesitation. It dodges and weaves through the flames, completely focused on its prey. Kim watches from a distance, standing near a dark cave. He notes that they are getting too close together. He grips a bundle of dynamite, thinking he needs to detonate it to escape. The monster's paw glows with power as it lunges for the final pound. The rat stops dead, realizing the truth. Kim Butler, you tricked me, you bad guy. Kim stands directly in the monster's path, screaming for Squeaky to run. The monster's eyes glow, locked on its butler, and it brings its massive paw down right on top of him. Damn, what a betrayal. The little pink rat scurries away. Sorry for the misunderstanding, but the monster is already on it. Leaping through the air, the rat dives into a narrow crevice in the rocks. The monster slams into the wall, too big to follow. The chase leads them to the edge of a vast lava sea. The rat finds itself trapped on a tiny rock spire. A massive paw lands right beside it, cornering the little guy. The monster looms over it, its aura flaring. You cannot escape from me. The rat puffs up its chest, wearing a tiny bow tie. Let me play with you, it taunts the beast. Try to catch me, squeak, and leaps off the edge. Without a second thought, the monster dives right after it. It looks down in horror. Realizing its mistake, it twists desperately in mid-air, trying to stop its fall. Kim just watches calmly from the cliff top. The monster manages to grab the ledge, hanging on for dear life. Kim thinks that his master's cat-like body reminds him of his own pet. The monster asks us about the cat. Pet cat, is that the family you need to support? Kim smiles. Yes, a very cute guy who hates losing. A flashback shows his cat about to bat at his hand. The cat smacks his hand away playfully. Then it gently rests its paw on his hand. Kim smiles at the memory. He looks down at his master. If you do not have the courage, I'll help you, and places his hand on its paw. And then he pushes. The monster falls backwards into the open air, plummeting towards the lava. Damn, he actually did it. A small object splashes into the sea of lava. The monster's head pops out of the lava then again. It emerges, now a massive beast, saying the warmth was pleasant. It shakes off the lava, ready to hunt the phoenix. Nothing can stand against me. The beast walks confidently beside Kim. Kim reminds him the phoenix gets stronger with each resurrection. We must put an end to it so it can't resurrect. He says he has a strategy. The monster calls him reliable. And just like that, the phoenix erupts from the lava. The fiery bird scoffs at them. Foolish ones, you will realize the futility of your challenge. They stand at the edge of a massive volcanic arena. The monster gets into a hunting stance as the phoenix flies overhead. Kim explains that Kalinas can hunt it, but its immortality is the real problem. The plan is to strike its core during its second resurrection. The monster leaps forward. Do you think my body can accomplish that? Kim grins. Of course I will make it possible. The phoenix soars towards them, ready for battle. Its fiery eyes lock onto its target. The monster charges ahead, a blur of gray fur. It dodges a massive wave of fire from the phoenix. A strange blue aura surrounds the beast as it leaps. It uses its tail to launch itself through the air, and it sinks its teeth right into the phoenix's neck. Damn. The monster slams the fiery bird into the ground. The phoenix dissolves into flames, vowing to return. Kim shouts, "The first phase is complete. Master." A ball of fire erupts from the lava. The monster thinks it is interesting prey. The fiery orb spins and gathers energy. It starts to take shape, glowing brighter. A torrent of flame bursts forth, and from the flames, a massive phoenix is born. It threatens to cover them in hellfire and turn them to ash. The monster roars, bracing against the intense heat. It is completely engulfed in the phoenix's fire. The fiery bird circles high above them. Then it dives straight for them. But the monster stands its ground, unafraid of the flames. Kim says they need to target it when it slows down as it rises. The monster leaps into the air, intercepting the phoenix's dive. It dodges and weaves around the fiery attacks, and then it grabs the phoenix right by the neck. Damn. The monster growls, "Got it." It slams a bird into the ground with incredible force. Kim is stunned. You snatched that mid-flight. The phoenix vows to rise again and burn the world. The monster just smashes its head into the ground. The phoenix's core flies off towards a distant volcano. Kim calls out, "Squeaky." Now it's our turn lure master to that cliff again. He gets ready to run, saying the real challenge starts now. A hooded figure with a bow says they just need to prevent the resurrection, and an arrow hits the volcano, causing a massive explosion. The explosion sends a group of adventurers flying. The volcano erupts, and the phoenix's core hangs in the sky. Kim reveals he spent months planning how to strike the core at height. He sprints along the cliff, thinking his master must follow. The monster stands its ground as another explosion erupts nearby. And just like that, the chase is on again. The monster's eyes are locked on its tiny, determined prey. The monster bounds forward, hot on the rat's trail. Squeaky leads the beast through the fiery landscape. It leaps from rock to rock in pursuit. It lands with a massive crash, sending Squeaky flying. Kim watches from below as his master reaches the designated cliff. A system window appears, asking where to place the catapult. He selects the perfect spot right near the edge. He confirms the placement and the construction begins. A massive wooden catapult materializes before him. Kim calls out for Squeaky to hurry to the catapult. Squeaky admits he is scared, but Kim tells him he can be proud. And with a shout, Kim launches the little rat into the sky. Squeaky soars through the air, a tiny projectile aimed at the core. The little rat smacks right into the fiery orb. The monster leaps after them, its paws glowing with power. A flashback reveals Kim's promise, that becoming a minion guarantees survival. Squeaky desperately hopes Kim was not tricking him. Man, poor guy. The monster's glowing paw smashes directly into the phoenix core. Kim catches the phoenix core on a silver platter, shouting that it was a success. Squeaky lies on the platter, asking if this is heaven. Kim mentions a service fee. Kim looks down at the rat. "You lived a good life, thinking you would go to heaven when you die." The monster praises Kim's excellent strategy from the lava. Squeaky realizes he is alive. Kim throws his arms up in celebration. Congratulations on becoming the ruler of the lava zone. And just like that, they have a massive fortress in the lava zone. The two of them walk across a narrow stone bridge towards their new home. Inside the main hall, a glowing chest materializes before them. It is a massive, ornate treasure chest. Shimmering with power, Kim approaches it, noting it is the reward for a record-breaking clear. He smirks, thinking he can look forward to this a bit, and his eyes widen in absolute shock. The chest opens to reveal a glowing sword and the phoenix's immortal flame. "I had hoped, but I never expected this to actually drop." He reaches for the hilt, identifying it as the phoenix blade. Enkinix, he holds the blade up, asking if it is the relic the phoenix left behind. He admires the weapon, calling it a magnificent sword. He thanks his master and says he will take the rewards as promised, but the monster tells him to wait. The monster looms over him, saying the sword looks like too much for him to handle. Kim looks nervous. "Didn't we make a contract? You are not going back on your word now, are you?" The monster says he keeps his promises and looks at the immortal flame in the chest. He is actually more interested in the flame. Kim says his cats love that kind of red light. The monster tells him to take the items, and Kim kneels to collect his prize. He quickly opens his inventory. "Phew, that was scary. Why did you suddenly tell me to stop?" He thinks he can recover somewhat with this event quest, as the monster rests nearby, and then the monster's giant head pops up right next to him. Startling him, the monster pants heavily, asking its butler why this is happening. Kim realizes his master feels betrayed, a sense of loss. He opens his inventory, explaining the monster feels its rewards were stolen. The monster roars that it wants to punch his face, but Kim tells it to wait. A bright orb of light appears between them. It resolves into a glowing green ball made of leaves. Kim explains it is a catnip ball. He is not sure if it will work, but it is worth a try. The massive beast immediately flops over, batting at the ball and meowing. It rolls on its back, completely entranced by the catnip. Kim smiles, relieved that his master has calmed down. He recalls getting it as a gift for buying a cat avatar. A flashback shows players in cat costumes gathered around the glowing ball. The monster happily licks the ball, and Kim is surprised it was so effective. He tells his master he wants to repay him, and the monster agrees. Kim opens the auction house menu. He searches for recipes using meat or fish. He scrolls through a long list of options. He realizes he cannot cook most of them with his low proficiency. A system window shows he is just an apprentice cook. He decides to become an advanced expert chef. He remembers all the time he spent working to gather seed money. He thinks it is a wise investment to make a good first impression. He checks the last trading price for an item called Ankinix. The system says it sold for 13.40 gold a year ago, and its rarity has increased. Kim facepalms as a notification shows the Phoenix Blade sold for 14,000 gold. In a flashback, he becomes an advanced expert chef. The monster asks what he is doing, and Kim says he is researching cooking to repay him. He scrolls through a menu of new recipes, saying he has more options. He looks over the choices: Smilodon roast, spotted helltail, and smelting minnow. He decides fish is the safest choice for a cat and picks the spotted helltail sea bream. His butler skill, treat crafting, activates, and he searches for the ingredient. He tells the system to buy the biggest and freshest one. Price be damned. After buying all the tools, he reads about the fish's poisonous spikes. He thinks that an additional presentation has been added to the skill. He carefully cuts off the dangerous, spiky tail. Then he expertly fillets the fish. He scrapes away the scales with precision. A burst of water magic cleans the prepared fish. He brushes on a dark sauce, then pours more over the top. He lowers the pot into a roaring fire to cook. And the final dish is presented, glowing with perfection. Kim tells his master the treat is ready. The monster notes the delicious smell. The beast eagerly shoves its face into the bowl. It pulls back with the spiky tail hanging out of its mouth. Kim panics, asking if it does not suit his taste. The monster says its tongue is tingling with a sharp taste. Its face scrunches up as Kim watches nervously. Then it licks its lips, saying the sweetness is developing. It declares the meal delicious, and Kim breathes a sigh of relief. Man, close call. Kim reaches for a piece of the fish, asking what it tastes like. He takes a bite, saying the thick meat is making his mouth water. He covers his mouth, savoring the flavor. He tells his master he understands the feeling. The chewy texture and rich flavor of monkfish meat fills your mouth. The massive beast is completely passed out on the floor from satisfaction. It murmurs that it was an excellent taste it had never experienced before. It thanks Kim for the fine dining experience and starts purring. Kim bows as his master praises him. Excellent. Kim Butler, meeting you here truly feels like good fortune. He smiles, glad his master is satisfied, and a system window confirms it. The scene changes to a vast green forest with a mountain in the distance, and now they are walking through it, with the monster following its butler. The beast walks beside Kim, thinking that following him around like this must be part of the setting for the event quest. Kim smiles, thinking this reminds him of his own cat, Piju. The monster says it is getting bored and asks about their destination. Kim mentions an orc village. It complains that the scenery is repeating. Kim says it will be quick once they find the road. The monster asks if they are lost, and Kim sheepishly admits they are. Kim asks his master for clues about why he is trapped in that body. The monster agrees. A flashback begins. Long, long ago, I was an emperor who unified the three kingdoms. He explains that he learned to erase his body and store his power in the heart of darkness. While sleeping in that darkness, he heard a voice calling out to him. It was the voice of his descendants who were wrapped in despair. He returned to the land with a burning desire to save them. And that is when he saw Kim standing before him. Back in the present, the monster says that is all he can remember. The three dark kingdoms are introduced: the Troll Nation, the Dwarf Nation, and the Vampire Nation. Kim recalls that their unification happened 1,000 years ago. He wonders if serving an ancient emperor is good luck or not. He then starts making little kissy noises. The monster looks over, asking what he is doing. It reluctantly places its paw in his hand, clearly humiliated. Kim praises his master while petting him, and the monster tells him not to touch it without permission. But as Kim gives him a proper head massage, the beast seems to relax. It even tells him to do it a little stronger. Kim just stays silent. The scene changes to a fortified orc village in the mountains. Inside, a green-skinned warrior sharpens a massive blade. An elder orc enters, addressing the muscular warrior as Lord Jagra. Jagra asks the elder, "Dorgan, what is wrong?" Dorgan looks terrified. The phoenix's energy has disappeared. Jagra dismisses it, saying it will just resurrect, but Dorgan insists this is a complete extinction. Jagra leaps to his feet, demanding an explanation. Dorgan says the monster must have noticed too. The elder urges them to hurry and prepare. as a female orc watches from the background. She approaches Jagra. Honey, Riley went out hunting and has not come back yet. Both Jagra and Dorgan look absolutely horrified. Panic erupts throughout the orc village. The tribe gathers, staring at the distant mountain range. Jagra asks grimly if it has already started moving. He clenches his fists, screaming his son's name. Riley far away in the forest. A puff of smoke rises into the air, and on the ground lies Squeaky, knocked unconscious next to the monster's giant paw man. Poor guy. Kim stands in a lush forest, talking to his resting master. He asks Squeaky why he is being so uncooperative. Squeaky complains about broken promises, telling Kim to wake him when they arrive. Kim tries to sweet-talk him, calling him Lord Cerberus. The little rat gets fed up and leaps off the platter. He smacks Kim right across the face. You think it's a right, man? Squeaky's got an attitude. Meanwhile, someone with green skin walks through the tall grass. Kim tells his master they need to find the road, but the monster says it is his problem. A hooded figure with glowing eyes watches them from the shadows, holding a dagger. Kim tries to flatter his master, but Squeaky interrupts, yelling about how scared he is. He cries that Kim does not understand true fear. Kim turns to apologize. Unaware of the assassin right behind him, Squeaky's eyes widen in absolute terror. He screams a warning. Butler, behind, the assassin lunges with a blindingly fast slash. The attacker stands over their handiwork, wreathed in a strange aura. The monster looks around in confusion, asking where the attacker went. The assassin reappears, holding a blade to the monster's throat. They spin into a powerful attack. The blade arcs directly towards the beast's neck. The green-skinned assassin looks ready to strike again. They stand over Kim's body, which lies motionless on the forest floor. The assassin seems to be looking for their other target. They look up to see the monster flying through the air. The beast lands safely, and the assassin wonders why their attack failed. In a lush forest, Kim catches a falling orc by the leg. His master stands over them both, a massive gray lion. The monster looms over Kim. Found you. Kim turns with a wicked grin, calling out to the orc. The terrified orc begs him, please enslave me. The scene shifts to a vast, sunlit forest. The orc wakes up, hanging upside down, as someone shouts that his eyes are open. Kim smiles reassuringly. It's okay, we're not bad people. He explains they were lost. Could you guide us to the village? But the orc is still tied up, hanging over a boiling cauldron. Geez, that's cold. Later, the three of them walk through the woods at sunset. Kim calls out to the orc girl, Riley. He asks her a question. Weren't you scared when you first saw Master? She admits she was scared. Then why didn't you run away and attack instead? The three of them stand together as the sun sets. The monster explains their tribe must prove their strength to be warriors. Riley says she thought hunting him would earn her dad's recognition. Kim is shocked. You're incredibly reckless. She just wanted to show her dad she was ready, and Kim understands her desire for recognition. She looks down sadly. But I was really lacking. Dad was right. Kim reassures her. Riley, you're strong enough. He says her attack would have worked on others. He says her opponent, Lord Calinus, was just too strong. She asks. Really? He smiles. You can believe it. He calls her a champion monster with more than 2 skills. Stealth and critical strike are a perfect combo. Riley has no idea what a champion monster is. Kim panics. Realizing he just revealed game terminology, they approach a fortified village nestled in the hills. Kim sees the lights of the orc village ahead. He is relieved they made it before dark as Riley points out the front outpost. A muscular female orc runs out, shouting Riley's name. Riley waves back, calling out to her mom and wondering why everyone is outside. Suddenly, a massive axe slams into the ground right in front of them. Jagra points at them, yelling for them to stop right there. Riley tries to explain they are not enemies, but her dad orders her to get away from them. He warns them that coming any closer will be considered an invasion. The monster wonders what their problem is, and Riley offers to talk to them. Kim agrees. Riley walks alone towards the armed ranks of her tribe. Her mother grabs her shoulders, frantically asking if she is hurt. Then she starts hitting Riley for going into the mountains alone. Kim thinks this is not going well, as the orcs yell at them to leave. The monster says he will find a way. He tells Kim to either make them friendly or make them submit. Kim touches his master's side. Having made his decision, he addresses the orcs, asking how they dare bare their teeth at his master. He launches into a grand speech about Lord Calinus, the first emperor of the 3 kingdoms. He demands they submit, while the monster just licks its paw. The elder Dorgan steps forward, demanding they prove this power from a 1,000-year-old legend. Squeaky peeks out from between the monster's mate. He pops out, announcing they defeated the Phoenix, ruler of the lava zone. Dorgan is completely stunned, asking if the Phoenix is really gone. Kim says he will provide proof and opens his inventory. He holds up a swirling orb of fire, asking if they believe him now. The entire tribe sees the phoenix's flame as Kim demands their submission. The orcs are not convinced, accusing them of just finding the flame. Kim just calls them very suspicious people. So he raises a hand to the sky, summoning a small orb of fire. His master leaps into the air, ready to catch it. The beast catches the fiery orb as the orcs watch from below. He crushes the flame in his paw, absorbing its power. Then he slams it into the ground, causing a huge explosion. Fiery cracks spread across the earth, surrounding the warriors. A massive shockwave blasts through the village. The dust settles, revealing the devastation. Jagra stands amidst the smoke, looking furious. But his anger quickly turns to sheer terror. A terrifying shadow looms over him. The master's true form, the orc chief, trembles, completely overwhelmed. He collapses to his knees in submission, and the rest of the tribe follows his lead. They all bow, calling him Kalinus, the Lord of Darkness. A system window confirms it. The orcs now serve his master. The master praises his butler's good handling, and the quest is complete. The scene shifts to the quiet night sky. The orc village is now calm under the moonlight. Kim checks his quest log, and a new message appears. He has to gain the tribe leader's trust to get information. But standing in the village, Kim feels uneasy for some reason. He notices the village's defenses are terrible, with only one watchtower. The master complains that the outpost is run down and making him uncomfortable. Kim asks him to endure it for one night, as he has to go home. The monster is furious. What? I'm telling you how uncomfortable I am, and you're just going to leave me here. Kim says he already arranged lodging, and the monster grumbles that he looks happy to be leaving. Kim says he will go check on it, and his master tells him to hurry. The scene shifts to a simple wooden hut at night inside. Riley's voice declares she has become strong enough to win against the warriors. Her father, Jagra, dismisses her, saying the village is in a dangerous situation. Riley looks hurt, saying he has been avoiding her. Jagra just sighs. She stands her ground. I want to go to the battlefield. Please allow me, Dad. Explaining they set up an outside space for the master because E is so big. Kim is shocked. You put master's room outside. She just tells him to follow her. He follows them, thinking this does not feel right at all. They arrive at a simple tent pitched over a pile of bear pelts. Man, that's the VIP suite. Kim facepalms, thinking this will not do. Cats feel safe in enclosed spaces. A system window pops up, telling him to upgrade the outpost so his master feels comfortable. He realizes the tutorial always shows up to help and opens the outpost upgrade menu. Kim turns to the orc woman, thanking her for her efforts. He politely asks if he can make some improvements as he does not think his master will be comfortable. She agrees, saying they were not ready and would appreciate the help. Kim selects the living area, and a menu appears with options to upgrade or customize. His eyes light up at the word customize. He knows he has to do it. A notice warns him that customization might cost more RPP. He confirms. He remembers that satisfying his master with food and hunting earned him RPP as a reward. He decides it is worth reinvesting those points, knowing exactly what his master will like. The system asks Kim to describe how he wants his master's living area to be. He sketches out a tall, multi-level structure on a holographic screen. Satisfied with his design, he presses the start button. Kim raises a glowing hand to begin the construction. A system window confirms the upgrade will use 57 RPP. A massive pillar of light shoots into the sky as the orcs watch in awe. The light fades to reveal a giant multi-tiered stone tower. Jagra is stunned, wondering if this is a miracle from the gods. The master arrives, asking if this is his new bedroom. He looks up at the massive structure, inspecting his butler's work in a single bound. He leaps towards the very top. He lands perfectly on the highest platform. Surveying the area, he lies down, declaring it excellent. Man, he really likes it. Kim tells the orcs his master is pleased, and the master praises his good work. Jagra is relieved and tells him to call if he needs anything as the master leaps down. The master heads into the base of his new tower. He steps onto the soft bear pellets inside. He settles in for a rest, letting out a big yawn as Kim watches from the doorway. The master asks if he got any information, and Kim tells him a big serpent is coming tomorrow. Kim explains they need to defeat it to earn the orcs' trust, as they do not fully believe in them yet. The master asks if the serpent is strong, but Kim is confident it will be easy for him. The master praises Kim again, saying the room is cozy, and Kim gets a 120 RPP service fee. Squeaky suddenly pops up, panicking about having to fight a serpent. Kim asks Squeaky to help tomorrow, but the little mouse flatly refuses. Kim just says fine, he has another way now, leaving Squeaky confused. Kim's avatar wishes his master a comfortable night as the beast rests, back in the real world. Kim takes off his VR helmet with a sigh of relief. He thinks back on the game. That was fun for the first time in a long while. A small cat meows at his side. He asks his cat Lulu what is wrong. Since she does not usually cry much, he checks her food and water bowls, which are both full. Then he spots his other cat. Piju, sleeping on the couch and wonders if he has not eaten. He checks the sleeping cat's temperature. As you do. He reads the thermometer. No fever, but not feeling well. He gently tries to get the limp cat to move. He tells Piju to stop sleeping and wake up. But the cat just lets out a huge yawn. He holds the cat's face, wondering if it is not hungry. He puts Piju in front of the food bowl, but the cat just slumps over it. Later, Kim eats his own meal while Piju continues to ignore the food. While eating, he searches for information on the forest serpent. He finds the stats for the king serpent, a massive raid boss, and understands why the orcs are afraid. He reads a comment saying the serpent could beat the phoenix, so he wonders why it was hiding. Another comment explains it was likely a type disadvantage, since the serpent is weak to fire. Kim smiles, thinking this is the perfect prey to satisfy his master. He looks over his collection of cat toys, wondering what kind of prey he should play with. He remembers that Piju is not feeling well today, so he decides to use his secret weapon, a toy with Matt Tabby. The elder is confused by his calm reaction, but Jagra reminds him of Lord Kalinus' power. He is actually excited, saying they will finally see the end of the creature that plagued them for so long. The two walk through the village, Jagra laughing with confidence. They approach the master's new home, and Jagra calls out to pay his respects. Kim panics inside. Kim rushes out to intercept them. He says Master is currently out on business. The orcs are stunned, asking where he could have gone at a time like this. Kim admits that he cannot locate his master right now either. Jagra is furious. He yells, "Don't tell me you didn't inform Lord Kalinus about the village situation." Kim looks grave. He says he has something to tell them, and they need to make a plan. He begins to explain the truth about his master. The orcs are in disbelief. Jagra worries that if he is trapped in a monster's body, he might never return. Kim apologizes. He trusted the summoning spell, not expecting it to fail. Jagra's expression hardens. He says this was a fight they would have to face eventually anyway. The elder asks Kim if he can fight it, but Kim admits he has no combat skills. He says he can. However, strengthen the village's defenses, like he did with the master's room. Jagra considers this, thinking it is good news if Kim can protect the village with that power. He makes a plan. He will hold the serpent off at the outpost while Kim fortifies the village. Kim agrees to try. Jagra asks if the village will be safe, then declares that it has to be. But Kim cannot guarantee it. He says he is not used to the power and cannot use it infinitely, man. That's a tough reality check. Jagra grips his massive axe. He tells Kim, even if it breaks through, there must be no damage to the village. He warns Kim that if that condition is not met, he will hold him responsible. A system window confirms the chief's trust has hit rock bottom. Kim thinks to himself that the quest was going too smoothly. Squeaky asks what he is thinking, and Kim says he needs to find the best option. He asks the system how much RPP he has left. The display shows 192. He has to stop the serpent with just that. He remembers the serpent is weak to fire and decides to check his minion management window. The window shows Squeaky's stats. His name is Cerberus and he has high fire resistance, but Kim remembers Squeaky's terror. The mouse is just too scared of natural enemies. Kim stands there deep in thought, trying to figure out a new plan. He mutters about a life or death choice and Squeaky panics. Kim walks off dramatically. If I die, bury me in a sunny spot. He stops, watching a wooden training dummy get struck. A female orc with blue hair is practicing her combat moves. She lands a flurry of precise strikes on the wooden post. She pants heavily, sweating from the intense workout. The orc stands there, catching her breath. Kim approaches her. "What are you doing right now?" "Riley," she turns, surprised to see him, and just says Butler. Riley explains that she is doing her morning training. Kim tells her that is not what he meant. He asks if she knows a monster is attacking. She looks away, saying she cannot go into battle. The male warriors will deal with it. Kim looks at her, unconvinced. He thinks there is a hidden meaning to her words. A young orc girl confronts Kim, asking if he is training because her dad made him mad. She gets flustered. "I really like training, okay." She says it is fine if she does not become a warrior. Kim asks if that is true, and she snaps back that it is not. He tries to reassure her. "I don't think your dad is keeping you out of battle because you're weak. Maybe it's just because he cares deeply about you." She looks down, touched by his words, and thanks him. Kim's expression turns serious. He tells her the monster is stronger than they think. "They won't last long." She scoffs. "Butler, you don't know how strong my dad is, do you?" She says she knows. Kim explains that her dad will be the serpent's main target. That's especially dangerous. Her eyes widen in alarm. She decides she has to go see for herself. She runs off. But Kim tells her she will just make things worse. He stops her with an offer. "I'll give you Kalinus' power." He says she will need it if she wants to beat the monster. She turns back, shocked and intrigued. Meanwhile, at the village outpost, a lookout shouts, "It's coming!" Jagger roars at his warriors to get in formation. The orcs charge out to meet their foe. Today, we will cut off the serpent's breath. Back in the village, the Elder Dorgan performs a fire ritual. The massive serpent slithers through the trees. Jagra and his warriors stand their ground as the beast approaches. A close-up reveals its terrifying face and glowing red eyes. The serpent towers over the orc war party. Man, that thing is huge. Jagra raises his axe high and yells, "Attack!" The orcs scream as they charge into battle. The elder continues his chant, "Great Spirit, give us the rage of battle." The orc warriors hammer away at the serpent's body, but their weapons just spark off its scales. With a single tail whip, the beast sends them flying. Jagra holds his ground, yelling for his axe not to break. He grits his teeth, saying it is like hitting a chunk of iron. The serpent's red eye just stares, completely unbothered. It thrashes through the orcs, a whirlwind of scales and fury. The Elder Dorgan chants a spell. "Arth, shield our warriors' flesh with steel." Jagra roars, his body now glowing with power. He tells them to break through the scales. He brings his enchanted axe down with all his might. The serpent actually recoils in pain. It turns and begins to slither away. The beast kicks up a massive dust cloud to cover its escape. Jagra orders his warriors to chase it down and keep up the pressure, but it was a feint. The serpent whips around to face them. It coils up high, towering over the charging orcs. A sickly green light builds in its throat. An orc tries to strike, but his spear just shatters on its hide. Jagra is stunned. The scales got even harder. The serpent's tail smacks him right across the face. He flies backward, screaming for everyone to fall back. Too late, the serpent unleashes a massive cloud of poison gas. Jagra stands in the green mist, wondering if it was a trap. He realizes holding his breath does nothing against this poison. His limbs go numb. He cannot feel his arms or legs. Man, that's brutal. Paralyzed, Jagra kneels as the serpent looms over him, ready to strike. The serpent's jaws clamp down on the orc chief. The other orcs are paralyzed, yelling for him to get away. Jagra is terrified, sweating as he faces the beast. He gives a final order. "If you survive, lead the tribe away to safety." The serpent's teeth sink into his arm. It lifts him into the air, swallowing him whole. The tribe can only watch in horror as their chief is eaten. They are frozen in place, unable to move their bodies. Suddenly, a bright projectile streaks through the air. A volley of them rains down from the cliffside. Another one flies straight towards the serpent. A figure in a maid outfit leaps from the trees. It is a goblin girl, and she screams for her dad. She lands on the serpent's head, stabbing it furiously, inside its throat. Jager's feet disappear from view. The goblin maid screams in desperation. Jager is being crushed as he is swallowed. An X-ray view shows his ribs snapping under the pressure. He screams as he is forced down the serpent's gullet. He gasps for air, wondering if this is the end. His eyes begin to close. But then, they flicker open again. He thinks he hears a voice. Is that a hallucination? Riley's voice, outside. The serpent rears back in pain. Its mouth smoking, a strange white foam erupts from its jaw. The serpent violently spits out Jager's body. It hisses angrily at the goblin maid. Riley just glares back, her expression set with determination. She stands her ground, facing the massive beast alone. Elsewhere, Kim and Squeaky rush toward the fallen Elder Dorgan. Squeaky activates his Cerberus skill. Giant growth, he balloons in size as Kim reaches the unconscious Elder. The serpent notices them. But Squeaky is frozen in fear. "I'm scared." Kim yells for everyone to run, leading the retreat with Dorgan. The other orcs slowly begin to regain feeling in their limbs. They ask Kim about the Elder's condition. He says he's unconscious. We should move him and check his condition. Kim tells them all to evacuate, but they worry about leaving Riley to fight alone. He warns them to move quickly or get caught in the crossfire. The serpent lunges forward. Its jaws wide open, Riley dodges the attack, letting it crash into the earth. She lands perfectly. Pivoting for her next move, she charges back towards the serpent. A blur of motion, even with her new power, she is shocked by its speed. She pushes herself harder, running along its scaly back. "I'll go faster." But a single tail whip sends her flying. She tumbles through the air, completely out of control. She crashes hard into the ground, dazed. She admits she cannot get used to the speed. "Man, that power boost has a learning curve." Nearby, Jagra groans as he finally wakes up. Kim and Squeaky are now with him. Squeaky says, "You're alive. It was Toe carrying you here." Jagra asks who is fighting the serpent. He wonders if Lord Kalinas has returned. Kim looks over, a bead of sweat on his face. He just says, "Well." The chief looks at him, confused. Kim's words hit him. "Your daughter is fighting the serpent." Jagra's eye goes wide in shock. He absolutely loses it. Damn it. Jagra is on the ground, tied up. He yells at Kim, "What on earth are you doing?" Kim tells him not to push himself. The chief rages about his daughter being in danger. Kim just thinks that it is lucky she got injured, man. That's cold. Jagra screams for Riley, telling her she cannot fight alone. Down below, Riley faces the serpent's massive tail. The tail comes crashing down right on top of her. The impact creates a massive explosion of dust and debris. Riley coughs up blood. She took the hit head on. The serpent slithers back, watching from a distance. It strikes again, its tail smashing into the cliffside. But Riley is too fast. She dodges out of the way as the rock shatters. Jagra screams her name in a panic. Riley, are you okay? Kim calmly kneels beside him. I understand you're worried, but please stop yelling. Your daughter is fighting well. And yeah, she is. Riley is a blur of motion. Daggers flashing, she runs along the serpent's body, landing strikes. She lets out a fierce battle cry. Another powerful blow lands on the beast's scales. Jagra watches from the cliff. He asks Kim a question. Butler, why is Riley wearing clothes like that? Kim explains. Those are the clothes of Kalinis's minions, he continues, saying Riley wanted to become a minion to protect the tribe, and with Kalinis's power, she got stronger. Jagra looks down at the battle. I see, so can Riley beat that serpent. Kim watches the fight. There's still a big gap, by numbers alone. She's not enough, but I believe Riley can win. Riley, now in a maid outfit, spins through the air. She lands a clean strike on the serpent's scales. Her dagger sinks deep into its hide. She unleashes a flurry of stabs. The serpent lets out an enraged hiss. It whips its tail, but she dodges it perfectly. She has now fully adapted to her new power. Riley lets out a war cry and stabs it again. From a distance, the orcs watch her fight the giant beast. They wonder how she got so strong. But no, hitting the tail is not enough. The serpent is keeping its head away, threatened by her attacks. But as time passes, Riley is the one getting impatient. Her eyes glow with fierce determination. She faces off against the coiled serpent. The beast turns and begins to flee. Riley gives chase, running along its massive body. One of the orcs realizes what is happening. He yells out a warning. Riley, it's a trap. Don't chase after it. Riley remembers Kim's instructions. Before using her ultimate, it's going to make its scales super hard. You have to break them with all your strength. She plants her foot firmly, gathering her power. She leaps high into the air as the serpent prepares its poison breath. Her dagger begins to glow with a fiery red energy. She drives the empowered blade straight into the serpent's head. The serpent's mouth hangs open, its eye glowing with rage. Kim and the other orcs can only watch, calling out her name. The goblin maid roars in fury, her fist glowing with fiery energy. She unleashes a powerful flaming punch, then follows it up with a devastating axe kick. Her foot slams into the serpent's head, cracking the very ground beneath it. The serpent's head explodes in a shower of blood. Riley collapses to her knees, her legs smoking from the recoil of the attack. The giant serpent lies dead, a burning crater where its eye used to be. From the village, the other orcs see the beast finally fall. It lies motionless on the cracked earth. The warriors immediately start running towards the scene. They are all cheering. She did it, Riley beat it. The elder Dorgan watches from a distance, looking thoughtful. He confronts Kim. I told you to strengthen the village defenses. Why did you give Riley the power instead? Kim smirks. When I first met Riley in the forest, I saw she had special skills rarely seen in orcs. How could she have such skills? Dorgan explains. Riley was a kid who worked incredibly hard to get stronger. Since she was little, she wanted to be an honorable warrior who dies fighting on the battlefield. He admits he did not know what to do as a father. Kim then asks him, what will you do now? Dorgan is silent. He has no answer. The crowd of orcs starts a countdown. They lift Riley into the air, chanting her name. Kim watches the celebration from a distance. The warriors gather around their new hero. Jagra walks up with Kim slung over his shoulder. He asks, really, are you okay? She runs to meet her father. She asks if he's all right. Jagra tells Kim to let go of him now. Jagra looks on with determination. He thinks to himself, I need to make this right. Jagra places a hand on his daughter's shoulder. You protected the village, Riley. He tells her that no matter what anyone says, she is the tribe's greatest warrior. Riley hugs him as he apologizes for his harsh words. All this time, I just wanted to keep you safe in my arms. Her eyes sparkle with excitement. Dad, does that mean I can go to the battlefield now? He hesitates for a moment before saying, of course. He lets out a quiet sigh. Jagra smiles. The village's greatest warrior can't be left out of battle. She hugs him tightly in gratitude, making him grunt in pain. Jagra's soul practically leaves his body from the force of the hug. Kim smirks at the scene. Sorry, Dad, you got a lot stronger. Jagra turns to face Kim with a serious expression. He admits his arrogance in not showing respect to Kalinas' right hand. Kim accepts his apology, and Jagra apologizes for cursing him. Kim says he was ready to die, so he is actually grateful. Jagra puts a fist to his chest in a gesture of respect. He thanks Kim for saving the village, and the other orcs join in. Thank you, Butler. A system window appears. The quest to gain the tribe leader's trust is complete. Kim reflects on his success. Thinking he did well this time, he knows that without the extra RPP from service fees, this would have been impossible. He lets out a sigh of relief. He was panicking when his master disappeared, but since this is still the tutorial, he worries that more difficult days are ahead. He looks at the dead serpent, knowing he needs to stock up on quests and service fees. To do that, he needs to wrap things up here. He tells the orcs to raise their heads. Kim raises his hand, declaring that Master Kalinas' will protects them, and he gave Riley power on his behalf. He proclaims that the victory was all thanks to Lord Kalinas' grace. Kim raises his arms and yells, "Hooray!" But the orcs are just confused, asking what hooray means. Man, he said that without thinking? Kim teaches the orcs how to celebrate. Hooray is a word to celebrate victory, and praise your lord. Repeat after me. Hooray. The orcs all raise their hands and cheer along. They chant glory to Lord Kalinas as they head back to the village. The group makes their way through the dense forest. On the way, Kim praises Squeaky for his courage. Squeaky boasts that he was essential. Squeaky reminds him that his help has its limits. Kim reassures him, saying he has already found the sugarcane field. Squeaky gets excited, but Kim says he has work to do first. He needs to get information about his master from the orcs. Suddenly, Riley appears on the path ahead, calling out to him. Kim asks why she waited for him. She says she has a question. She asks about the flames that came from her sword during the fight. She explains that the flame's power allowed her to pierce the serpent's scales. It was a new feeling, an energy that did not feel like her own. Kim tells her it was her own flame. The power just awakened her potential. He explains that her tribe has the fire attribute. Riley realizes the power was truly hers. She then asks if it is true that no other warrior could have pierced the scales. Kim looks flustered. She cannot believe it, still doubting her own strength. Kim confirms it, saying he already knows the other warrior's skills. He tells her not to underestimate herself. She apologizes, thinking he did it just to help her get recognized. Kim scoffs at the idea. Why do you think I'm a good person? Should I hang you upside down over a hot pot again? Riley just blushes and smiles, seemingly happy with his response. She suddenly announces she is going ahead, leaving Kim confused. She runs off with renewed determination, vowing to train even harder. Kim watches her go, a proud smile on his face. A minion management screen appears, showing Riley's stats and skills. She is level 39. Kim does a quick mental calculation. Riley's power is not enough. He wonders if there is another way to help her. He finds a solution in his system, an item called Equip Essence. It is an immortal flame essence. It adds fire damage and has a type advantage. He remembers watching Riley train relentlessly day after day, but he worries. Giving her this power might invalidate all her hard work. He wonders how to even bring it up to her. He watches her run ahead, hoping she will understand when she finds out. The scene shifts back to the present. Inside a hut in the village, Kim is talking with Jagra. He explains his master was woken by descendants seeking salvation. Jagra thinks for a moment, stroking his chin. He suggests it might be related to the Noctin kingdom. He explains that Noctin fell to an invasion. Now they are trying to awaken an ancient power. Kim connects the dots. That matches what Master said. That power is clearly Lord Kalinas. He asks why his master ended up so far from there. Jagra is silent. Jagra mentions a mysterious altar on the eastern plains. It might be related to the summoning. Kim considers going to the altar, but then decides against it. Jagra says the altar is hidden. He urges Kim to hurry to the Noctin kingdom instead. Kim and Squeaky step outside the hut. A system window pops up. Tutorial stage 3 is complete. He gets a reward and a new quest. The main quest is to find the summoner in the Noctin kingdom. Squeaky worries their master will not return. Kim is confident. He will come. Suddenly, they both look up in surprise. A giant cat-like creature sits atop a stone pillar. It lets out a meow. Squeaky cheers. Master has returned. Kim sighs in relief. I was worried you wouldn't come back. Kim yells at the giant wolf. Didn't you say you'd protect us from the serpent? Where on earth did you go? The wolf creature just headbutts him mid-sentence. Kim goes flying. The beast apologizes. I'm sorry, Kim Butler. Somehow, I don't remember well what happened. Kalinas says he felt like he disappeared for a moment. He is just relieved to see Kim is okay. Kim immediately starts taking credit for everything. It was very difficult while you were gone, Master. May I take some credit? He starts his report with a bit of drama. Stopping that serpent was nothing short of a miracle. He explains he had information and the determination to find a solution. And yeah, He totally defeated the serpent against all odds. A system window confirms his success. Kalinus says, "You're reliable. I trust you even more now." Kim is thrilled that his plan worked. He thanks his master for the recognition. He then asks for more service fees to prepare for future emergencies. Man, this guy is smooth. Kalinus agrees. That seems like the right thing to do. The scene transitions to a clear blue sky. Elsewhere, Riley says goodbye to her mother. The orc warriors pledge their loyalty to Kalinus. The entire tribe sees them off, thanking the butler for saving their land. But Kim notices Riley is walking with them. She says she is heading the same way. He asks her destination. She plans to join a mercenary group in the capital. Kim just looks at her, processing this new information. As they walk, Kalinus asks if she likes her new clothes. She says she does. The group continues their journey down a long forest path. Kim tells his master they need to get to the Noctin Kingdom quickly. Squeaky the mouse looks a little nervous on Kalinus' head. He asks if they are really going to the sugarcane field. Kim says he can be trusted, but Kim is worried. He knows his master loses interest easily. He has to keep him tempted. Squeaky dashes forward, yelling, "Here goes." Kalinus just stands there, completely unimpressed. The mouse looks back, wondering why he is not following. A close-up shows Kalinus' bored, unamused eyes. He asks Squeaky if he ate something bad. Two mice start taunting the giant wolf beast. Kim tries to stop them. Squeaky makes a face, sticking his tongue out. Kalinus calls him a bold little thing. The mouse even summons a small fire, but Kalinus still shows no interest. Suddenly, Kalinus lunges forward, chasing the screaming mouse. Squeaky flies through the air, yelling for someone to save him. Kim watches the chaos. He tells Riley he has another idea. He opens a system window to summon all his minions. A black portal opens on his serving tray, sucking the minions inside. Riley and Squeaky reappear, confused by the sudden teleport. Kim explains that his master has laid down and refuses to move. A black shard materializes in his gloved hand. He says they need to reduce the weight so Kalinus will feel less resistance. And yeah, he starts climbing onto his master's back. Kim asks if it is uncomfortable. Kalinus says he feels nothing but finds it unpleasant. Kim apologizes, saying there is no choice. Kalinus agrees to endure it. He tells him to just walk forward and he will give directions. Kalinus agrees. The giant wolf's paws take a heavy step onto the dirt path. Kim rides on his back, amazed at how fast he moves, even at a gentle walk. An overhead shot shows them moving down the path as a bird flies by. Kalinus suddenly breaks into a run, sending Kim flying backward from the sheer speed. Kalinus bolts through the trees. Kim yells that he is going the wrong way. A huge cloud of dust erupts from the forest ahead. Kalinus has crashed, pinning down some poor bird creature. Kim lies on the ground, wondering what to do. Kalinus has a suggestion. "Butler, Kulden, you just go to the destination, make a treat, and summon me." Kim explains that he could not send the notification when his master disappeared. He was afraid of losing him for good. Just then, a system window pops up. Master miniaturization. It explains he can shrink his master for easier travel, but it costs RPP over time. Kim is thrilled. A solution has appeared, master. He gets to his feet. Open master miniaturization window. He hits start, and Kalinus begins to glow. A huge puff of smoke erupts from where the beast stood. The smoke clears, revealing a tiny version of Kalinus. The little guy just lets out a meow. Kalinus looks around, confused. Everything feels like it's gotten incredibly huge. Kim is overjoyed. "Oh my, you were really a cat." He opens the mount window. The system asks if he wants to summon his tamed wild horse. He holds the tiny Kalinus, thinking riding alone would be fastest, but he has an idea. The scene shifts to a carriage wheel rolling along. Kim is driving a fancy carriage. He asks if everyone is comfortable. Inside, Riley and Squeaky are relaxing with the now tiny Kalinus. She says it is very comfortable. The carriage travels down a path through a beautiful green valley. 4 strong horses pull them along. Kim pulls on the reins, bringing the carriage to a stop. Inside, Squeaky is fast asleep next to Kalinus. Kim calls out, "Squeaky, we're here." The mouse jolts awake. Squeaky the mouse looks up in awe. He stands before a massive bamboo forest, calling it heaven. Kim waves goodbye. Squeaky accuses him of looking relieved to part ways. Kim puts on a show, pretending to cry. Squeaky tells him to stop acting. The mouse gets serious. He reminds Kim of another promise. "Remember you said you'd help me meet a pretty mate." Squeak! Kim is flustered, asking if he really promised that. Suddenly, a large bird swoops down from the sky. Squeaky screams for help. The bird's shadow looms over the terrified mouse. But Squeaky's fear turns to love at first sight. The bird flies over the bamboo forest. Squeaky is now riding on its back, completely smitten. He tells the butler to take care as he flies away. He speeds off into the distance, waving goodbye. Man, what an exit. Riley asks if Squeaky is really gone. Kim says it is a shame. Kalinas, held by Riley, suggests they rest for a moment. Kim is touched by the consideration until his master asks for treats. Riley looks at Kim, realizing Kalinas just wanted food. Kalinas says he wants meat this time. Kim agrees to prepare it right away. Kim activates his butler skill, treat crafting. It finds king serpent meat in Riley's bag. He licks his lips. A perfect dish comes to mind. He imagines seasoned grilled eel. The thought makes his mouth water. A system window asks to apply the recipe to the serpent meat. He accepts. Kalinas lets out a long meow. Kim recognizes the sound. His system starts bulk purchasing cooking tools. He remembers his cat, PPI. That is the cry it makes when asking for food. Kim prepares a meal, thinking about a friend named PPI. He wishes his friend could taste the spicy food here. It would be nice to eat and play together. He starts slicing a large salmon fillet. He daydreams about a peaceful life with his pet. Meanwhile, in a bamboo forest, a large bird attacks a small mouse. The mouse dodges, and Squeaky rushes to the rescue. Squeaky looks up at the bird, ready for a fight. A huge burst of fire erupts from him. He shoots a fireball at the bird. The bird easily dodges the attack. It hovers over the terrified little mouse. The mouse runs for its life, screaming. The bird dives in for the kill. But Squeaky unleashes a skill. A flame barrier. He looks a little drained from the effort. The bird is scorched and smoking. Damn, it stumbles away, defeated. The little mouse thanks Squeaky for saving her. Squeaky asks if she is hurt. She says she is fine, just a little shaken, but then she suddenly faints. Squeaky catches her, blushing a little. Man, our boy's a hero. She introduces herself as Tria. Just then, 2 other mice arrive, calling her name. The 2 mice arrive, calling out for their sister. They see Squeaky with Tria and rush forward, asking if she is all right. Tria reassures her sisters. I'm fine, sis. This person saved me. The 2 older mice thank Squeaky for saving their youngest. Squeaky puffs out his chest. Squeak, of course, I'd save one of my own kind in danger. Squeak! Tria looks at him, clearly impressed. She shyly asks for his name. Squeaky is taken aback. He starts blushing furiously. Man, he is down bad. Squeaky's mind drifts into a fantasy of Tria with a crown of flowers. He imagines them having a huge family together. He sees them all playing happily in a field. The fantasy continues to them attending a wedding and then a funeral. Geez, that got dark fast. He snaps back to reality, considering a new life protecting them. His heart pounds in his chest. He has made his decision. He strikes a dramatic pose, ready to introduce himself. My name is Cerberus. I am a minion of Lord Kalinas, the Avatar of Darkness. The other mice are just completely confused. Avatar of what now? Meanwhile, back at the picnic, Kalinas asks about the meal. Kim presents the grilled serpent meat, explaining it is based on a dish from his world. He tells Riley to sit and wait, saying they will all share the meal. Kim demonstrates how to eat it, placing meat and rice on a lettuce wrap. He adds some vegetables and seasoning for taste. He explains the wrap is called Sam, and it is delicious. Kim holds out the finished wrap for Kalinas. Try a bite. Say ah. Kim offers Kalinas a piece of meat wrapped in a leaf. He explains it tastes even better this way. Kalinas eyes the grilled serpent meat. After the meal, Riley is thrilled. Wow, it was so delicious. She pats her stomach. I'm glad I followed you. Butler. Kim tells her to thank the master instead, so she thanks Lord Kalinas. But Kim notices something is off with his master. Riley points out that Kalinas does not look happy at all. Kim explains that is actually his very satisfied face. Riley is not so sure inside his head. Kalinas is experiencing a flavor explosion. Kim is proud he enjoyed it, getting a plus 45 service fee. They all relax after the meal. Kim is glad his master has not wandered off. Just then, Squeaky emerges from the bamboo forest. Kim is surprised to see him. Squeaky, the little mouse, walks right back to their picnic spot. He bows to Kalinas, saying he returned to pay respects. Kim asks if he got dumped. Squeaky says he had to choose, and his heart chose to be Lord Kalinas' minion. He clenches his fist, determined to gain honor by serving the Avatar of Darkness man. He is committed. Kim flatly tells him he cannot come with them. Squeaky is stunned. He explains they are heading into dangerous territory with high-level monsters. But Squeaky says he has a solution to that problem. He just needs to get stronger than he is now. From the forest's edge, Squeaky watches them. He refuses to be left behind. He approaches Kim again, calling him Lord Cerberus. Suddenly, Tria and 2 other mice appear from the bamboo. She asks if he came for her, then explains that eagles are hunting them and they need help. Squeaky blushes, asking if they want an escort. The mice clarify, we'd like you to deal with the eagles. They beg for help. Kim remembers the orc's warning. The altar is through tunnels, but they are impossible to find. He looks at the mice. An idea starts to form. Kim asks if they can help him find the tunnels in the plain. The mice make a deal. If you help us first, we'll gladly help you find the tunnels. And right on cue, the eagles appear in the sky. A closer look shows the huge, menacing birds. One of them spots the tiny mice on the ground below. The mice scatter, running for their lives. An entire flock of eagles gathers above them. They fold their wings, preparing to dive. The birds plummet towards the ground like arrows. The whole flock descends upon the field. But Riley is already moving, dashing in with her daggers. Squeaky lets out a mighty roar, ready for a fight. The battle erupts in a storm of fire and steel. Riley cleanly dispatches an eagle, gaining experience. She cuts down 2 more in a flash. Damn, she is fast. Squeaky, now named Cerberus, unleashes a wave of fire. He blasts another bird straight out of the sky. The battlefield is littered with fallen eagles. System windows pop up. Both Cerberus and Riley have leveled up after the battle. Tria looks over at Squeaky. Our boy looks back, a hero in her eyes. The little mouse, Tria, looks up, calling out to them. Riley turns. Lord Cerberus. The other mice look on nervously as Tria sweats. She asks Squeaky, could you stay here with us? Squeaky's face goes completely red. He turns his back to her, confessing his feelings. We just met, but strangely, my heart feels tied to you. Kim, Riley, and Kalinas watch the drama unfold with 3D glasses and popcorn. As you do, Squeaky continues his speech. But I have a path I must take now. I wish we had met after my journey ended. He walks away dramatically. Goodbye, I love you. And then he just zips off across the field. Kim asks the mice if they know where the summoning altar is. They say yes and offer to guide him. Tria is completely baffled. She just wanted to ask him to protect the village, not confess her love. The scene transitions with a shot of the sky. The mice lead them to a stone cave, saying the altar is on the other side. Kim and Riley wave goodbye as the mice leave. Squeaky stands beside them. Kim looks down at the red mouse. You've made your decision. He kneels down. Cerberus, should we talk seriously without the jokes now? Squeaky says he likes it. Kim explains the basic strategy he had planned. Squeaky was meant to be bait for Kalinas. He asks if Squeaky wants to continue playing that role. And Kim says, yeah. Squeaky is shocked. He thinks Kim is pushing him away because his master lost interest. Riley asks Kim to give Cerberus another chance. Kalinas agrees it seems too cold. Kim looks at the mouse. I can't force you to do something you're afraid of. Cerberus. He explains he was just rewarding his efforts with a goodbye, but Squeaky came back to stay. Squeaky confirms. Kim's expression hardens. He says if Squeaky wants to stay, he needs to get stronger. The little mouse looks determined. I'll give it a try. Kim stands before Riley and Squeaky. All right, trainees, today we have 3 types of training. They both look confused. Kim warns them that practice will be tough. Kim yells for them to acknowledge him. Squeaky just yells back. He calls out Squeaky's new name. Cerberus. Kim scolds him for speaking informally to a superior. Geez, that's cold. Squeaky is flustered, asking what is going on. Kim goes full drill sergeant on him. Squeaky is internally freaking out. Riley tries to soften the blow, but Kim says Cerberus is already behind her. He strips Cerberus of his minion qualifications, telling him to go back to the lava zone. Cerberus panics. He gave up everything for this. Poor guy. He immediately apologizes and promises to do better. Kim accepts. Kim explains he is the commanding officer during this military-style training. Riley is super into it, ready for the experience. Cerberus grumbles about the top trainee's enthusiasm. Kim lays out the 3 goals, keeping the master interested, boosting courage, and team strategies. He tells them their performance today will decide everything. Cerberus finally gets with the program, shouting that he understands. The first exercise is a hunting game to get Kalinas interested again. Kim explains that Kalinas lost interest in the mouse, but not his flames. He holds up the tiny master, promising to show him a new and improved Squeaky. Both sides get ready. Squeaky ignites his tail. Cerberus gets into a ready stance, thinking the small Kalinas is not so scary. Kim literally throws Kalinas into the field. The hunt begins. The goal is to be just fast enough to trigger Kalinas' hunting instincts. Kalinas lunges at the fireball, swiping with his claws. Kalinas leaps into action in his cat form. He slams his paw down, pinning Squeaky's tail. Then he pounces, catching the little mouse. Kim explains the rules of the hunt. Really act out being a defeated prey. Other red mice flop around, playing their part. Kim coaches from the sidelines. Good job, now the finish. After the hunt, Kalinas is offered a ball of leaves. He sniffs the reward curiously. Kim presents the defeated Squeaky on a platter. Mission complete. The next exercise is courage training. Cerberus salutes, ready for the challenge. Kalinas transforms into his massive lion form. Looming over the mouse, he slams his paw down right next to Squeaky, who screams. Kim holds up a target for Kalinas to practice on. Squeaky trembles on a silver platter, admitting this is terrifying. Kim just laughs. That's because you've barely been hit yet. Squeaky stares at him in utter disbelief. He asks, "Are you a devil?" Kalinus winds up for another powerful strike. His paw crashes into the ground. He strikes again and again. The ground cracks with each blow. He keeps pounding the earth around the tiny mouse. This brutal training continues all the way into the night. But finally, Squeaky stands firm before the giant paw. "Now I'm not scared at all." Squeaky erupts in flames, yelling, "Bring it on." A massive paw slams down right next to him. Kim announces that it is finally time for teamwork training. He says they will toss Cerberus around to lure the master's attack. Kim explains they are preparing for a foe even bigger than Kalinus. Cerberus points out the evolved phoenix was bigger than the master. Kim confirms there are even scarier monsters out there. He reveals a guardian protects the altar, and guardians are usually big and strong. Riley agrees it is best to distract the master before he notices a big enemy. The goal is to make Kalinus so mad he smashes a huge rock. Cerberus and Kalinus stare each other down. Riley holds Kalinus, saying she will do her best to annoy him. Kim orders them to their places. Riley gets ready. Holding Kalinus like a football, Cerberus powers up his flame aura. The training begins as Riley takes off. She tosses Kalinus through the air towards Kim. Kim catches him and shoots him back with a burst of fire. Riley catches the flaming cat creature. Kalinus smacks her right in the face. He lands and immediately bolts. Kalinus looks back, calling for the butler. The whole team is now just chaotically chasing each other. Kim runs after the flaming Cerberus, with Riley and Kalinus ahead. He scoops up the fiery mouse in his hands. "As you do." Kim strikes a pose, throwing Cerberus forward. He yells, "Today, I choose you." As the mouse becomes a fireball, Squeaky lands as a giant fire hamster, facing off against Kalinus' small form. The two face each other across a dusty field, one a ball of fire, the other a wisp of blue flame. Kim's eyes are locked on the scene. He presses a holographic start button. Now, a bright light shines down on the summoning altar. The simulation ends, and Squeaky is just a cute pink mouse again. Kalinus' true form is revealed, a massive blue flame beast. Kim walks up the stone steps of the cave. The group emerges from the cave. Kim carries Kalinus, Riley, and Squeaky follow. They arrive at a huge, ancient-looking summoning altar. Kim immediately starts running around the perimeter. Squeaky runs right behind him, trying to keep up. Riley stands in the middle, holding Kalinus. "Butler, what are you looking for?" Kim explains. "I was searching the era for a key to activate the altar." He thought it would activate when the master stepped on it, but nothing happened. He asks Riley to pass him Kalinus. She holds the little creature out. Kim lifts Kalinus up high in the center of the altar. But well, just holding him up does not seem to do anything. Squeaky tells Kim he seems a bit broken. Kim just agrees. Kim tells Squeaky to speak casually, but the mouse refuses, vowing to treat him as a superior. Kim sweats, wondering when their hierarchy changed so drastically.
Squeaky has an idea. Butler.
Could it be not working because Master is too small? Kim has a sudden realization. Why didn't I think of that? And just like that, Kalinus transforms into his massive beast form. The pillars of the altar begin to glow with ancient blue runes. A swirling blue portal rips open in the center of the archway. Kim cheers. It worked. The altar is responding. He explains the altar did not recognize the master's hidden aura in his small form. The swirling vortex of energy grows more intense. A blinding white light emanates from the portal's core. Kalinus leaps from the platform, diving straight into the gateway. A single polished shoe steps out from the other side. An old man with white hair and glasses emerges, energy crackling across his face. He is dressed in a fine suit, holding a cane sword. Kim observes him, noting he looks like a butler and seems to be infected. Kalinus speaks a single name, Fenrir. The old butler pulls out a small ornate vial. Riley draws her daggers, but Kim stops her. "Riley, wait a moment." He doesn't seem to be an enemy. The man plants his sword firmly into the stone altar. Then he kneels before the massive beast. He addresses him with his full title. "My lord, ruler of the Dark Lands, first emperor of the Three Kingdoms." Kalinus replies, "It's been a while. You haven't fallen asleep even after 1,000 years." Fenrir asks if he has forgotten the order to guard his sealed power, but Kalinus does not remember. The old butler growls, his face twisting in frustration. Kim and Riley are startled by the sudden change in his demeanor. His face contorts with rage, dark energy flaring around him. The veins on his face pulse with a dark, corrupted power. He lets out a roar as his body begins to twist and transform. Man, this cannot be good. The giant beast Kalinus faces a struggling warrior. "You look like you're struggling." The man admits he could lose control at any moment. Kim knows they need high-level info from this guy, but he does not look like he can last long. He's a ticking time bomb. They have to get what they need and eliminate him fast. The scene shifts to a dark void. Two figures stand there. A masked man with flowing blue hair speaks to an older gentleman. "I heard Serentium invaded." The older man asks what happened, saying they used to get along, he says. They appeared again. The masked man asks if it was Morbas. The older man says yes. He explains the rift began with the assassination of Serentium's prince. The masked man asks if Morbas was behind it. The older man confirms it was a plot to start a war. Their descendants could not handle the attacks, especially with player forces reinforcing the enemy. The masked man is shocked. Players. A gate had opened in Serentium, bringing beings from another world who called themselves players. There were hundreds of thousands of them. The descendants had no choice but to awaken their master. But Morbas tried to steal the master's power during the awakening ritual. When the descendants discovered the scheme, a standoff began to protect the power. The master's consciousness was torn between the two factions, and a random cat wandered into the middle of the powerful energy. The masked man asks if it was the cat. And yeah, the master's power and mind entered the feline as a result. The cat transformed into a giant beast with no way to communicate with their lord. Morbas's forces invaded the citadel to protect the master's power. They had to let the beast escape. The giant cat beast perched on a castle spire, alone in the night. Fortunately, the descendants had an emergency escape device ready. They needed a location the enemy would never predict, so they looked to Serentium's players. For players, a butler is someone who cares for cats, so they found a player named Kim Butler. A blue-flamed being gets a report from a kneeling man. We warped master to him. A flashback reveals a purple beast man facing a giant gray wolf. So that's how it happened. Kim looks concerned. Then would it be dangerous to head straight to Nocton? The Beastman gives them a new mission. Find other altars to reclaim the master's body. Kim agrees, realizing they almost walked into a disaster. The Beastman's eyes glow with purple energy. Suddenly, the Beastman attacks the Wolf Guardian. The wolf is enveloped in dark energy. It tells them to run. Its paw slams down with immense force. Riley and Kim flee in panic. Riley yells that the butler's body is growing. The two run for their lives as a giant purple monster forms behind them. A winged demon flies away from the ensuing chaos. The wolf guardian roars, its eyes glowing with rage. It unleashes its power, shattering the altar around it. The beast howls in a frenzy of destruction. Kim, Riley, and Squeaky scramble to avoid the falling debris. Kim looks back, casting a spell, Chain Lightning. The wolf gathers dark energy on its paw. It then forms a swirling orb of power in its jaws. A massive beam of purple energy erupts from its mouth. The blast carves a huge crater into the side of a mountain. Geez. Squeaky panics, but Kim is lost in thought, wondering if the guardian is gone. He assesses the wolf's power, realizing it is stronger than the giant rock. Kim cautiously peeks out from behind a boulder. The wolf lets out another devastating howl, shattering the very ground. Kim and Riley watch the massive wolf from behind a rock. Kalinas roams the forest, calling out for his butler. He spots something in the distance. A black flash, Kim appears before him. It's an emergency. Master. And just like that, Kalinas is back to his tiny cat form. Kim explains the situation. Master. Fenrir is rampaging in agony. Kalinas steps up, ready to face the beast himself. The giant wolf Fenrir leaps into view with a terrifying roar. Kim scoops up his master, shielding him from the blast. A massive stone pillar comes flying right at them, but he does not even flinch as it shatters on an invisible barrier. The giant wolf looms over the altar, growling. Kalinas looks on from the safety of Kim's arms. The two beasts stare each other down. Fenrir prepares an attack, a ball of dark energy forming. Kim looks on in shock, realizing the wolf's full name. Suddenly, a vision of an old man with a monocle. He is kneeling before a masked figure, asking if Morbas is responsible for his state. The figure says yes, and the old man asks for a cure. But the old man knows the truth. It's too late. The masked warrior just watches him. He begs for the end. Pleases, end my suffering. The warrior promises to help, telling him to hold on. Back in the present, Kim holds Kalinas up to the sky. He looks at his master. May I begin? Kim faces the giant wolf, thinking Fenrir was a loyal subordinate, and hoping his end is painless. He calls out to Riley and Squeaky, who he calls Cerberus. He lays out the plan to aim for the head with the master's attack, in one clean strike. He knows there is only one chance. He activates his minion management skill. He uses points from yesterday's training to level up Squeaky, dumping them all into mental power. The team gets into position. Kim tells them to do it just like they practiced. He yells start and launches a fiery projectile. Kalinas leaps into action, charging forward. Riley watches as Kalinas zips past her. The team executes a complex relay maneuver, tossing their master and minion between them. Kalinas is thrown through the air, absorbing energy and beginning to transform. Kim catches Squeaky, who is now glowing with fiery energy. He then throws Kalinas, who is crackling with blue power, with his back literally on fire. Kim prepares for the final move. He lets out a yell, winding up for the throw. He unleashes the attack, fire rat shot. Squeaky becomes a flaming projectile, soaring towards the giant wolf. The shot is perfect. A direct bullseye. It slams directly into Fenrir's eye. Kim notes the wolf is returning to its original size. Just then, Kalinus slams down onto Fenrir's head with immense force now in his beast form. Kalinus pins the wolf to the stone altar. Riley cheers that it was a direct hit, but Kim just watches. Kalinus stands over the still body of the wolf, wondering if it is over. System messages confirm the kill and reward Kim for his performance. The entire plains now belong to his master. Man, that's a huge reward. Kim breathes a sigh of relief, but feels conflicted about how to comfort his master. Kalinus gently places his paw on Fenrir's head. He stands over the fallen guardian, a silent farewell, then he delivers the final merciful bite in the vision. The old man's form begins to fade. He disappears completely into motes of light. Kalinus says a final goodbye. Rest in peace, Fenrir. Kim calls out from below, Master, are you alright? The beast replies, it seems like I'll need some time to be alright. Kim struggles with his player mindset, trying to treat the situation as real. He wonders what the proper Butler response is for a grieving master. And then Kalinus turns around, presenting his backside. Kim is completely baffled by the gesture. He realizes it is a signal, asking for butt pats. Classic. Kalinus thinks the beast in the vision feels familiar. A lone rider travels through a snowy mountain pass. He fishes a glowing shard of emotion from a hole in the ice. Kneeling down, he examines the strange crystal with Kalinus. A vision shows a white cat, just like the predator from before. He wonders if this is the same creature in a smaller form. If so, the owner of these emotions is connected to them. They follow the shard's guidance along a cliff path. The shard of emotion leads them onward. Another memory surfaces. A hand petting the white cat. Kim sits with his master, finally understanding the feeling. It is the emotion of a guardian. A parent's love. Kalinus' ear twitches suddenly. He hears the voice of the emotion's owner. The source is close, so Kim asks where they should go. And then the scene shifts to a modern city filled with skyscrapers. Drones patrol the skies above the metropolis. The camera focuses on two towering apartment buildings. Inside, a man walks past his staff. He asks for a report and is told all is normal. He quietly opens a door. Inside, a person is hooked up to what looks like a VR machine. The room is filled with monitors and equipment. The person lies still, connected to the system. The man just watches them with a heavy heart. Jeez. And back in the game world, the landscape is a peaceful field. Kalinus tells his butler to stop here. Kim dismounts and Kalinus dismisses the horse. Kim looks around the empty field, but Kalinus gives him directions to the shard owner. His master explains it is hidden by a barrier. Kim reaches out and his hand hits an invisible wall. The barrier ripples with blue and yellow light. Kim realizes they need to prepare before entering. He opens the auction window, worried about a devourer of chaos. First on the list is healing potions. He knows he cannot relax just because it is a low-level area. He buys a cart full of potions, just in case. Next, he searches for second circle scrolls. The auction house populates with a list of magic spells. He even finds some third circle scrolls and decides to buy them all. He holds up Kalinus. All done, we'll enter now. Master. Kalinus asks what he bought, and Kim says potions and scrolls. His master wonders where he got it all as they step through the barrier. The world on the other side is dark and stormy. Lightning flashes across the sky. It illuminates a massive mansion with Kim standing at the gate. Then the scene shifts to a futuristic city. We zoom in on a skyscraper for a company called Coco Games inside an office. Two people approach a man at his desk. The man is Kim Seong-gu, the CTO. His in-game name is Mr. Kim. The president, Park Dae-sung, confronts him. You put the project on indefinite hold, and now you're saying we're stopping development completely. A man in a white shirt says they have to stop it. The muscular man asks why. He explains his reason. My younger sister's cat, who participated in the experiment, died. The white-haired man asks if it was related to the connection device. The other man confirms it. The butler could not monitor the cat's health while connected. But the boss is not convinced. Can't you reconsider? This is our game-changing card. The man looks down, revealing the real problem. My younger sister won't wake up. The boss and his assistant are both stunned by the news. He demands clarification. She can't wake up. You mean she's unconscious? The man explains she has been trapped in the game ever since logging in. We see her in a hospital bed, hooked up to a VR device. Her brain is only active inside the game. The boss still does not believe it, calling it nonsense. The assistant asks about the sister's condition inside the game. He tells them they cannot locate her. Even with admin privileges, a system window flashes. Access denied. The scene shifts back to the game. Kim and Kalinus walk through the gates of a large estate from a high window. A purple cat watches them arrive. It's a monstrous-looking creature with a missing eye. It calls them uninvited intruders. The cat turns its skeletal back exposed and follows a woman in a green dress. A woman with long white hair reassures the cat. Don't worry, my baby. Her face is revealed, pale with glowing red eyes. Mommy will protect you. Man, this is creepy. Outside in the rain, Kim opens his inventory window. He pulls out a glowing appraisal scroll. The system asks him to specify a target. He chooses the mansion. A blue light scans the building, analyzing its properties. The results are in Chaos Remnant Detected. It's an abnormal space. Kim says this place was made by the Chaos side, and the owner of the emotions might be in danger. Kalinas is eager to meet them, and Kim agrees to check it out. Suddenly, a purple slime bounces down the path toward them. Kim stares at the creature. The slime moves past them, and they turn to watch it. It begins to transform, swirling into a large, gooey mass. Kim recognizes it, a doppel slime. Kalinas asks if he knows the creature. He explains it has copying abilities and is an extremely rare monster. The slime finishes its transformation. Now a dark elf assassin, she tells them. Go back. Homeowner rejects outsiders. Kim explains they are looking for someone and asks to see the mansion's owner. The dark elf draws 2 glowing purple blades, giving them one warning. Kim just smirks, holding a silver serving platter. Fine, let's fight then. He lifts the lid, summoning his minions from a swirl of dark energy. The two sides face off on the rain-slick stone path. Kim decides Riley is the best match for the level 50 Dark Elf. He tells her to fight alone. Riley and the butler charge forward, while Cerberus stays behind to guard Kalinas. Riley's daggers clash with the Dark Elf swords. The two assassins trade blows in a flurry of sparks. Kim watches intently. He tells Riley she needs to increase her speed. He warns her, this will be a speed you've never experienced before. The dark elf becomes a blur, lunging forward with incredible speed. The attack is a bright flash of purple energy. Riley barely dodges. She looks over her shoulder in shock. The elf is just too fast, a phantom moving across the courtyard. A powerful slash sends Riley flying backwards onto the ground. Man, that's a rough training session. A green-skinned maid with 2 daggers sits on the cobblestones, startled. Her expression hardens into a determined glare. Suddenly, a hooded assassin with glowing eyes leaps from above, aiming a purple arrow. She lets out a grunt as she prepares to fire. The magical arrow slams into the ground with a flash, but Kim is there. He steps in front of the maid and blocks the attack. Another assassin joins the first, and they both move to attack. The lead assassin pauses, surprised by his intervention. Kim smirks, holding his dagger. You need to be taught a lesson. From a balcony, the monstrous cat watches. Mom, it looks toe to fight those two with just one subordinate. The white-haired woman joins it, worried about more intruders joining the fight. Her stitched face shows a flicker of concern. The cat suddenly panics. I told you I was scared. The camera pulls back, showing the empty courtyard below, on the ground. Kalinas stands next to a small pink mouse-like creature. A white streak of energy zips across the pavement. The two assassins and the maid are now in a standoff with Kim, as a harpy circles above. The harpy swoops down and snatches Kalinas and the mouse. The maid shouts, Master. The pink mouse struggles in the harpy's grip. Hard to breathe. You're squeezing too tight. Its body contorts as a system window for a Cerberus skill appears. The harpy now holds the mouse by its tail. Flying higher, the mouse reaches out and grabs Kalinas, calling his name. It lands safely with Kalinas, apologizing for not noticing the ambush. The harpy circles overhead, revealing a single eye in its open mouth. Man, that is creepy. The mouse's tail bursts into flames. Come on, I won't let my guard down this time. A monstrous cyclops creature stares with its single red eye. It summons a glowing spear of light from the sky. The harpy unleashes its skill. Spear of Terror. A small creature screeches as the world seems to shatter around it. The mouse-like creature barely dodges the attack. The monster's sharp talons descend, and the scene shifts to Riley the maid holding a healing potion. She quickly uncorks the bottle and downs the entire thing in one go. She sparkles with renewed health. This potion's effect is really good in the background. Kim is sparring with a purple hooded assassin. He tells Riley to get back in the fight once she's healed. The hooded woman looks tired but determined. Riley charges back into the fray with daggers drawn. She parries a blow from the assassin. The force of the impact surprises her, so she chugs another potion to stay in the fight. Kim and the assassin exchange a flurry of blows. He realizes she's just defending to train him. I'm touched, Butler. Riley responds to his call with a determined yes. She runs forward. But Butler, aren't you worried about Master and Cerberus who were captured? The assassin lets out a battle cry and raises her sword. Riley meets her attack head-on. Clashing blades, the assassin is thrown back by the parry. Flipping through the air, the two women stand ready for the next exchange. The orc maid leaps over the hooded figure. Their blades clash in a shower of sparks. The hooded fighter deflects another attack. The maid grits her teeth, pushing back hard. Kim watches from above, thinking they are now evenly matched. He wonders if it is about time for something to activate. Elsewhere, Kalina stands with a large pink creature that looks dizzy. A massive griffin swoops down towards them. The one-eyed cat scoffs. There is nothing more terrifying in the world than a bird of prey's screech. The pink creature looks down. One down. Its eyes snap open, full of determination. It unleashes a Cerberus skill. Flame barrier, the griffin is engulfed in a pillar of fire, screaming. The bird explodes, sending the pink creature flying. From the window, the one-eyed cat looks on in shock. Back outside, the fight between the maid and the hooded figure continues. They stand off in the rain-slicked courtyard. The hooded figure's blade pulses with dark energy. The orc maid growls, her eyes glowing red. Kim sees this. Is it starting? A system window pops up. Orc warrior's berserker rage. Classic, the hooded figure lunges forward with a powerful strike. But the enraged maid blocks it easily, her body glowing with power. The hooded figure seems surprised by her sudden strength. It backflips away to create some distance. The enraged maid easily dodges the assassin's slash. She meets the twin blades with a powerful parry. The assassin is stunned by her overwhelming strength. Riley lets out a furious battle cry. Her attack connects, and the assassin grunts in pain. Kim notes the assassin's thoughts. I don't have the strength to block anymore. The assassin struggles to hold her ground. Their blades clash again with incredible force. The slime swords begin to deform under the pressure. A massive slash cuts through the slime's arm. The slime's arm is completely severed. Kim suddenly intervenes. Ryle, wait, he says. I have something to ask him. He holds Riley back as the defeated assassin lies on the ground. Riley's berserker rage begins to fade, her eyes still glowing. She snaps back to her senses with a start. She apologizes to Kim. Butler, I got too excited. I'm sorry. Kim tells her they will talk later. Right now, I need to talk to this guy. The slime reverts to its original form. Kill me. I don't know anything. Kim asks a question. Your owner is raising a cat. Right, he continues. You were tamed to play with that cat? Right, he smirks. Hey, I already know everything before coming here. You can at least answer this much, can't you? The slime finally answers. That's correct. Kim gets a very creepy look on his face. So you're experienced. Man, that's a weird thing to get excited about. He thinks to himself, if I gather just a bit more, RPP, I can use Fidelis Strike one more time. So before entering the mansion, I should gather RP through hunting play. Kim tells the slime to play with his master, but the slime refuses. He tries to persuade it. If you just do that, you can save your owner, and you still refuse. He points out the evil aura in the mansion. My guess is your owner is in danger. Right. Kim pretends to walk away, and the slime panics, telling him to wait. The slime asks him to promise to save its owner, and Kim agrees. He lifts the lid of the silver platter, revealing a swirling dark portal. A shadowy tendril shoots out and captures the purple slime with the slime on his platter. He opens the minion conversion window. The slime shakes its head, and Kim asks if it does not want to become a minion. He explains it is for its own safety, and promises to return it when the job is done. The slime gives a little thumbs up, agreeing to the terms. A glowing magic circle appears. The system begins converting the doppel slime. The slime floats in the center of the bright, intricate sigil. The conversion is complete, but it costs 75 RPP. Kim shouts in shock. He plays it cool for Riley, but internally he is panicking about the huge cost. Just then, Kalinas and Cerberus return. The pink mouse salutes. Safe return reporting in. Kalinas says Cerberus protected him, and Kim gets charged a 35 RPP service fee. Man, that's cold. The pink mouse tells Kim he thinks he has gotten stronger. He explains that he can now endure the harpy's screech, which used to terrify him. Kim praises him for his growth, and Kalinas adds that his flame power is stronger too. Kalinas credits Kim's training, while Kim decides to keep the fact he used points to boost his stats a secret. Kim says it is time to meet the owner, but Cerberus has a gift for his master first. Kim agrees and summons his newest minion. Cerberus looks on eagerly, excited to see what kind of creature it is. The purple slime appears, and Cerberus just stares at it, completely silent. Classic. Elsewhere, a small cat-like creature chases a purple slime. Soon, 3 of the creatures have the slime cornered. One of them pounces, getting absorbed into the gooey mass. The slime perfectly mimics the cat's form. It continues to transform, becoming something much larger. It is now a giant golden beetle, it says. I like cats. Someone is impressed. Wow, you can transform into a fluffy ball too. The beetle takes flight, hovering over Kim, Riley, and the pink mouse. One of the cat creatures roars, its eyes glowing with power. Kim and Riley watch the display. Kim says, as expected, an experienced one is on a different level. The beetle plays hide and seek with one of the cats. Riley explains the strategy. It grabs attention with flashy colors and uses the turn of its home ground to move unpredictably and entertain. The beetle melts back into a golden slime. The mouse points it out. Butler, it's transforming into something else again. It morphs into a blue fish and dives into a fountain. The mouse comments on the spectacle. If I were in Master's position, I'd really want to catch it. The fish swims in circles, taunting the cat on the edge. The cat becomes a blur of white energy. Diving after it, it reappears on the edge, waving a paw playfully. The fish leaps out and splashes the cat right in the face. The chase continues, with the cats now running at high speed. A voiceover praises the technique. That teasing, nerve-wracking drive is a work of art. The fish looks back smugly from the water. It zips away, leaving a trail in its wake. One of the cats powers up. Wreathed in blue energy, the fish leaps high out of the fountain, and the cat transforms into a leafy bird to give chase. Geez, this is some next-level training. Kim explains, the slime's power is reduced in its smaller form, but it is still strong. They look across the courtyard at the defeated doppel slime. He holds up the platter, where the slime now rests. The slime compliments him on his skills. But you're really good at this, you know. From the window, the one-eyed cat is impressed. That tinny furball is strong too, isn't it? It panics again, yelling at its mother. How could those weaklings possibly protect me? The woman despairs. I thought no one would ever find this place. Why are you so cruel? The cat asks a chilling question. Are you planning to kill me again? Her expression darkens, full of sorrow and resolve. The cat screams in terror. Again, you'll kill me. Then it immediately apologizes. I was wrong. I'm sorry. She covers her face, deciding to wake someone up. The cat seems to know what this means. There's no other way, is there? She gives the order. Then do it. A small cat-like creature dashes across the stone path. It leaps towards a lamppost where a giant golden beetle waits. Two of them now work together, cornering the beetle. Kim watches the swirling energy, noting the creature's desperation. Riley asks him, Butler, but how did you know? He explains he sensed two conflicting emotions in this space. He figured they could not be the same person, so the butler must be controlled. Kim calculates he needs more RPP to use miniaturized skills. The slime on the platter is exhausted. I can't do more. Kim is ecstatic, praising the slime's efforts. Save master. A glowing cat creature pounces towards the platter. The glowing cat creature slams into Kim, knocking him off balance. He goes flying backward, skidding across the stone path. He catches himself on the ground, looking up in confusion. Cerberus stands before him, calling him by his full title, Kim Butler. The cat walks towards him, acknowledging that his work has not been easy. Kim stands, saying he only did what he had to. Cerberus says it is time to do its duty. It declares its duty is to command capable retainers and officially appoints Kim as its exclusive butler. Kim looks stunned as a system window confirms his rank change. Another message appears. Kalinus' authority now dwells within Kim as he stands in a magic circle. His frilly cravat begins to glow. It transforms into a crisp collar and a dark tie. His hair seems to shift, becoming sharper and more styled. A silver pin materializes on his lapel. The promotion completes in a swirl of dark energy. Man, that's a glow-up. His shoes are now polished and formal. Kim looks up, his entire demeanor more refined and confident. Cerberus tells him, I need you. If you remain capable, I will grant you even more authority from now on. Kim smiles warmly. I will serve even more diligently at your side. He kneels before his master. A quiet moment of loyalty. The scene shifts to a dark cemetery, focusing on a large stone mausoleum. Inside, a long brick corridor is lit by eerie purple flames. The hallway stretches on into the darkness. An undead cat with an exposed ribcage and a missing eye appears. It says, Reveal yourself. A woman with long white hair stands before a cell, the undead cat at her side. She says a name. Short Sword of Severance, Grundaro. Her hand trembles as she thinks, Wanyang, that name. The woman with the veil looks away. I don't want to hear it. The one-eyed cat asks if she is sure. She just begs him, pleases. The cat makes a decision. Then from now on I'll call you Oath Sword. It summons the knight, come forth. Oath Sword, a massive knight in purple armor, appears behind her. Her red eyes glow with grim resolve. A flashback shows a white-haired person tied to a post. The knight stands ready, his blade drawn. The three of them stand together in the dark corridor. The cat gives the knight an order. Prove your oath and atone for your sins. The knight explains his vow. I took a life through misjudgment, and as the price, I swore an oath to you. He kneels before them. Flizzid, give me your command. The woman informs him of their target. There are intruders. She gives the final order. Fleas, eliminate them. The knight's eyes flare red. Damn. Back outside. Kim calmly pulls on his white gloves. A system window announces his new rank, exclusive butler. He adjusts his tie, thinking about his new abilities. His master's alert state has boosted his combat stats tremendously. He looks up, his appearance suddenly more refined. Riley and Kalinas are stunned by his transformation. Whoa, Butler, you look amazing. You suddenly got more handsome. He smiles smoothly and explains, Lord Kalinas promoted me. Riley and the pink mouse congratulate him. Kim addresses them from a distance, telling them to work hard. He turns his attention to the doppel slime. Let me ask about the situation inside the mansion. The slime reveals the master is a banshee, and the villain is the cat that torments her. Kim confirms the situation. The master is a ghost being tormented by the cat. He asks if the master was always a ghost. The slime says she was human but changed. Kim figures it out. A chaos corruptor has possessed the cat. He thanks the slime for the intel. Patting Cerberus on the head, the massive doors to the mansion swing open. Kim and Riley step inside the vast entrance hall. He explains the plan, handle chaos without revealing the master, and escape if needed. But his expression turns serious. If the master is recognized, they must eliminate everyone here. A voice echoes through the hall. Stop right there. A knight in full armor stands in their way. It is the Oath Sword, Grundar. He warns them not to take another step. Kim just smiles and asks the guard when he can meet the master. Riley suddenly points up to a balcony. A ghostly woman and a corrupted cat-like creature look down. The slime trembles as the woman screams. How dare you? Kim remains completely calm. A slight smirk on his face, he takes a confident step forward. The knight's helmet flares with red energy. Kim draws his own sword. I have business, so tell the homeowner to come down. The two warriors face each other across the checkered floor. The knight raises his greatsword, giving the order to eliminate them. He leaps high into the air, plunging downward with his blade. Kim sidesteps with ease as the knight shatters the floor. He counters in a flash. His own blade a silver blur. He shouts his orders. Riley is to protect the master, and Cerberus will watch the ones upstairs. Kim's shock absorption rate has drastically increased. He says, okay. An armored knight prepares to strike. Kim leaps gracefully over the knight's sword swing. The knight recognizes the blade. The Oath Sword. Kim activates a butler skill. Courteous suppression. The knight wonders why the sword is here. A targeting system locks onto the knight's gauntlet. Glowing white threads wrap around its arm, immobilizing it. The knight is caught completely off guard. Kim stabs his dagger into the knight's helmet, but he feels no impact. He thinks, I can't feel anything. The knight's body turns ethereal. Kim realizes it is a spirit body. Now the knight materializes again, their blades clashing. At once, the knight calls his tactics cheap. Kim asks how his new skill was. Kim pulls out a glowing scroll. Detection materialization. He unleashes a powerful slash. He blocks the knight's counterattack. Kim leaps and stabs again, wondering why an oath sword is guarding this house. From above, the one-eyed cat watches. It asks why a knight of God is here. It worries that the butler was hiding his true strength. The cat uses a scourge skill, Seed of Doubt Amplification. A symbol appears on the knight's helmet. A voice tells it to recall the judgment it ruined. A flashback to a statue of a deity named Balder in a grand hall. People pray for the truth about a maid's death. Two men agree to obey the verdict of a duel. Two oath swords, Brak Harmoon and Grundar, raise their blades. The flashback continues. A white-haired man reassures a woman, she says. I'm not worried at all, because you're innocent. They hold hands. Both wearing simple rings, she believes God will prove his innocent. She desperately clutches his sleeve, telling him he must not die. She screams in anguish, crying out a name. Alien. And there he is, Alien, tied to a post and bleeding. She kneels at his feet. Man, that's brutal. The other knight taunts Grundar. The fact you came looking for me means you didn't trust God's judgment. Grundar blames himself for the wrongful judgment, saying his own faith was lacking. The other knight laughs. You ruined the verdict. In the end, you're the one who killed those innocent people. Geez, that's cold. He struck down an innocent man, believing it was God's punishment for his failure. Blood streams down his helmet, a constant reminder of his sin. Back in the present, the cat's voice echoes in Grundar's mind. Why did you swear to protect her? Cerberus watches from the stairs. The cat asks if he only did it to throw her back into despair. Cerberus warns Kim. The parasite in the cat is exploiting the knight's guilt to make him go berserk. The knight's helmet cracks under the mental assault. A torrent of red energy explodes from him. He transforms, surrounded by a dark purple aura. A system window confirms it. Oath Sword, Grundar. Grade A Kim realizes they are completely outmatched. An A rank is impossible for them right now. He immediately orders a retreat. Fall back, everyone. Run, run. But the massive doors slam shut, trapping them inside. The cat gloats from the balcony. In this space-time, you cannot leave without my version. The A-rank knight instantly appears right behind Kim. Kim just barely manages to block the massive blade with his small sword. The sheer force of the blow sends our boy flying across the hall. He slams hard into the checkered floor. He coughs up blood, clutching his wounded arm. Damn, that looked like it hurt. The knight flies sideways through the air, sword held high. Riley holds Cerberus, shouting for the butler in a panic. Cerberus' star-marked eye glows with a bright blue light. Kim blocks a massive scythe-like weapon, sparks flying from the impact. The force sends him flying backward, crashing through a set of glass doors. Cerberus lands on the ground, its body now radiating a powerful blue aura. Kim feels the power surging through him, a result of his master's heightened alertness. He meets the knight's blade again, determined to give it his all. Kim moves with incredible speed, striking the knight from multiple angles at once. But he takes a hit to his side, a red glow showing the damage. He grits his teeth, realizing the attack got through and he needs to react. The knight's sword begins to glow with a swirling, purple energy. It swings its blade in a powerful arc. Riley lets out a determined shout. She leaps in, using her own skill to land a fiery blow on the knight. She tells Kim they will fight too. He looks on in surprise. The knight spins its sword, creating a whirlwind of energy that pushes everyone back. Cerberus stands guard over Kalinis. Don't get close. Stay here. The pink mouse watches in awe. Incredible. We can't even intervene. Upstairs, the one-eyed cat speaks to the banshee. Mom, do you think I just asked you to eliminate them for nothing? It continues its lie. They came to kidnap me. They're going to steal me away from Mom. Down below, the knight erupts with a furious red aura, empowered by the banshee's rage. The Doppel Slime and Riley look on their faces set with grim resolve. Kim knows what is coming, an area attack they cannot survive. He has to block it. The knight vanishes in a flash of red, lunging straight for Kim. Kim holds up a glowing purple sword, ready for a fight. The knight unleashes a massive shockwave and Kim barely blocks it. He digs his heels in, bracing against the immense pressure. Grundar leaps into the air, bringing his sword down with devastating force. The impact creates a massive explosion of energy. Smoke billows through the grand hall. Kim's sword deflects a ghostly white attack, but the blow leaves him stunned. He thinks he might have failed. Grundar raises his greatsword for the finishing strike, but Riley throws herself in front of Kim, taking the hit, damn, from above. We see the aftermath. 2 allies down. The one-eyed cat praises the knight, telling him to show them despair. The Doppel Slime and Riley lie defeated on the floor. Grundar looks around, seemingly confused. A voice calls out, "Over here." Kim is back on his feet, his sword now glowing with a brilliant blue light. A system window designates the knight as the target, and Kim charges forward. He yells out the final command, "Detonate." The banshee and the cat watch from the balcony. Cerberus and the pink mouse can only look on. A massive pillar of light erupts from the knight. Kim gasps for breath. The attack clearly took a lot out of him. The master and her corrupted pet look on in shock. The cat is furious, realizing Kim was hiding a trump card. As the smoke clears, Kim stands alone in the center of the hall. The floor is shattered, smoke billowing from the impact. The knight is down, asking if they got him. Kim catches his breath. Yay, I thought we couldn't finish him off. But the knight's boot steps forward. He rises, wreathed in dark energy. You're going to continue. Upstairs, the woman begs the knight to stop, but the cat tells her to be quiet. That butler is almost finished now too. Once his strength runs out, we'll finish him, Mom. The knight stalks forward, undeterred. He closes the distance in an instant. The cat is shocked. I thought he was Tove, but he crumbles that easily. Kim's dagger sinks into the knight's chest plate. He drives the blade deeper. The knight groans in pain. The knight looks up at the woman on the balcony. His helmet is cracked, revealing his face. Please, my sins. She looks away coldly. Do not forgive. The cat agrees. Don't waste your breath on useless words. The cat orders him to disappear. Kim asks the dying knight, "What sin did you commit, that you say such things even as you're dying?" Cerberus identifies the magic. It is a self-erosion curse. It collapses the ego from the inside to break it. They need information about the woman. Kim tells the knight, "If you truly want to protect that woman, tell me what happened." The knight's resolve hardens. "I'll definitely protect her." The cat is furious. "Grundar, I put so much effort into corrupting him." It decides it will just have to find a new pawn. Kim holds a dark crystal. Thinking he needs to buy some time, he stands over the knight's body and says, "Capture." The cat urges the woman, "Let's finish them right away. Shima, we have to do it now while the butler is injured." But she refuses. "I can't do it." The cat is stunned. The cat's face twists with malice. "Well, Mom wants me gone. Right. As the woman walks away, the cat follows. Come along while I'm asking nicely, but the pink mouse scurries up the stairs to block their path. You can't go down. The cat urges its master to ignore the mouse and finish off the butler. The mouse tries to explain, we came looking for you. We didn't come to kidnap the cat. Purple energy swirls and sharpens. The cat forms a blade from its back, taunting the mouse for its lack of fear. The mouse activates a skill, squeaky skill identification. The cat's eye widens in shock as the mouse begins to grow, and now the mouse is huge, towering over the tiny cat. The giant mouse looks down. What did you just mutter? I can't hear you well from here. The cat panics, screaming at the woman. Are you going to let me die again? The cat's words trigger a painful memory for the woman about believing lies. She clutches her head, screaming that everyone died, begging them to stop. The cat just keeps shouting at her. Listen to me. Blood streams from the woman's eyes as she completely breaks down. The giant mouse looks on, startled by her intense reaction. She floats into the air, surrounded by a dark, powerful aura. Man, this is bad.